areas were given instructions that they couldn't go in the Capitol building because it was closed.
Is your problem with Trump?
Wow. Am I allowed to finish any sentence?
I know it's tough for you to let women finish.
It's a question. I'm asking a question.
You interrupted, though. You interrupted. Let her finish.
She's been talking for 3 minutes.
She's
Can I
not
ask
done
one
talking.
question?
Don't worry, it's okay, friend. It's okay. You'll get your turn. I know you'll get your.
So my claim was based on the fact that the people before you got up here were making that claim that it was open to the public 24/7.
This is a different person.
Stop talking,
Okay,
friend.
that was my answer. So when you came up here and asked me why I was making that claim, that is why I was making that claim. Now, if you want to talk about Trump at January 6th,
about your claim. I asked why I was what you were going to.
Do you have a point, Carter? Do you have a point?
I'm talking with her. Can you stay out of this until I want to talk to you, please?
No, friend. This is not how this works.
I'm trying to learn her information before I get to you.
Carter, what did you have for breakfast today?
Let me know when you're done.
What did you have for breakfast? I'm curious.
Irrelevant. Let me know when you're done.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Jeez. I was like, did I hurt him in past life?
Hopefully you did. Hopefully you did. Pelosi dump. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning.
What's on your mind, Pelosi dump?
How can you say that the January 6th things were so bad, but I assume that you guys would be against denouncing all of the damages and deaths of the BLM riots in 2020?
Absolutely. I think violence of any kind is unnecessary.
So would you agree that?
Can I finish? Can I finish answer your question, please? Thanks.
Yeah.
People who commit acts of violence should be held accountable. Do you agree?
So would you agree?
Can you answer my question? Do you agree? People who commit acts of violence should be held accountable?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we agree.
Yeah. Okay. And so would you agree that that was like probably the worst and the biggest like upheaval of like a protest in American history to turn into a riot? It was the most damaging. It was though.
No, I don't agree. If you're trying to make a comparison for people protesting civil rights because black people in our country are targeted by police officers, if you want to compare that to a violent act or uprising against a government authority incited by the former president who was trying to subvert the will of democracy, I don't think that's an argument you're going to win.
Well, more people died. Like 25 people died during the riots. 1 to 2 billion. 1 to 2 billion. Wait, can I finish? Can I finish?
No, Pelosi dump.
$1 to $2 billion of.
Tell me who the Boogaloo Boys are. Tell me who they are.
$1 to $2 billion.
Tell me who the Boogaloo Boys
damage was done during the riots.
Tell me who the Boogaloo Boys are.
I don't know who that is.
Of course you don't, because you're a fucking traitor too. Get out of here.
Hey, Steve, you want to know a really fun fact? In LA, the amount of damage that was done by the BLM riots was less than the damage that was done when the LA Lakers won their championship.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I know where you're from. I know where you're from, so we can agree that the Lakers suck, right?
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm a Celtics fan. Okay, let's be real. I'm wearing my jacket right now.
Appreciate you. So again, if people out there, if you really want to make the claim, this tells us that you don't give a shit about your country and that your racism is and your bigotry is showing, because it's an interesting argument that you want to try to make to defend the fact that Donald Trump is an insurrectionist traitor. Good luck though. Good luck with that. It's quite the flex. I don't think it's not gonna end well for you, but it is quite the flex. But that's whatever.
Accountability is hard for everybody.
I know. Good morning, David. How are you today?
Good morning. How are yourself?
I'm doing fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
So I had a question. Like, despite whoever wins, do you think us staying out of a foreign war is going to happen, or do you think we're going to get into a foreign war?
I don't think that we're going to get into a war. No.
I really hope not, man. It's getting pretty bad out there.
Yeah. So who are you planning on voting for, David?
I think I'm leaning towards Trump this time. Into that fucking guy.
You're leaning towards Trump, David?
Yeah.
So if you want my opinion, then to answer your question, I'm glad you answered honestly, because what would Trump do in regards to Ukraine and Russia?
I have no idea. At the end of the day, he could say all he wants and it's all about what he's gonna do. I don't know what he's gonna do.
Right, but didn't he say that he would settle the war in 24 hours?
Allegedly,
Yeah. So do you believe him?
I want to, but
Okay.
no.
So do you believe him when he says he wants to have his generals be like Schmittler's generals? Do you believe that?
I don't know anything about that part right there.
Yeah. Do you care that he wants to use the U.S. military to round up people in our country who don't agree with him politically? Do you care about that?
Well, didn't they the Department of Defense just sign a bill, an
No,
executive?
You're talking about DoD Directive 5240. No, that was from 2007, by the way, and it's got nothing to do with what you think it is. So I'm asking you a question. Donald Trump's own words, he wants to use the U.S. military to go after the enemy from within. And they are Democrats, woke liberals, people like that. Are you cool with that?
If it happens, it happens. There's nothing we can do about it, right?
Wow.
Okay, 99 trader.
You can't claim to be a patriot. You can't claim to be an American when you want half of the country to be rounded up by the U.S. military just because they didn't vote for a guy.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, Jess.
Jess, do you want to round up the enemy from within? I'm just curious.
That's just what it's just. I have no words. I can't. You want to know what's crazy? And I was just going to come up here to tell you guys how much I loved you, just so that you guys can get a little bit of break from the crazy. But I just think it's so funny that you just made that video, and that's all they're talking about today.
I know, right?
You knew. How did you know?
I read somewhere where this was coming up, and then I saw that guy do the video. I'm thinking I might as well do the response right now because I know it's coming. But anyway,
You were so prepared for that. It was just crazy because I'm like, I can't believe he knew that. But I just wanted to remind you guys that you guys change lives and you change minds. I've told my story before that my boyfriend was definitely a full-on Trump supporter. And after listening to a few of the creators on here, Steve being one of them, he is now coming with me to vote for Kamala Harris tomorrow. So I just wanted to remind you that I know it's very tough to listen to these people all day long, and it's very heartbreaking to hear the rhetoric all day long, but you do change lives and you do change minds, and we love you and we support you guys.
Appreciate you very much. Props to you. We are streaming on YouTube currently, and that's thanks to Jess. So everybody, if you have a chance, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll find the link in the link tree in my bio. If you have a chance to swing on over there, drop a comment, make a share, subscribe. We appreciate you.
Yes, it's gaining traction. Once the video is over, there are like hundreds of people viewing it. So at least it's there for the viewing. So hopefully we continue to keep doing that. And I appreciate you guys. I love you both.
Love you too. See you later, Jess. Take care. Thank you. Yeah, we've had some pretty good conversations the past few days with some people. Not everybody's interested in defending democracy, but
Don't understand why January 6th is kicking up again when
what else have you got?
that's all they got.
Good morning, James. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you, sir. What's on your mind today?
This election is kind of corny to me.
Kind of corny?
Because
did you say corny?
Corny.
Okay.
Yeah. We as Americans, we have values and we have morals. And both of these candidates are supporting genocide. Why
We're not
are
going to use
we
that word,
arguing?
James. We're not going to.
What's wrong with that word?
It's a TikTok word, friend. It's a TikTok word. Okay. You can use G-side. Okay.
The G-side. Okay. Why are we arguing about two people and their administrations who support G-side? If we have morals and we have Americans and we love God and we love Jesus, we all say we love Jesus.
James, to make a claim that someone supports G-side is quite the stretch. It is quite the stretch, don't you think? Do you support G-side?
How is that? No, I don't. How is that quite the stretch when we're spending all our tax money to send weapons everywhere?
All of it?
All of it?
Well, we got homeless people out here. We got all types of problems in this country.
So who are you planning on voting for? So then, James, who are you planning on voting for?
I can't vote.
Why can't you vote?
I can't. I have to vote my municipal vote.
Why can't you? You can't vote in the federal election?
I'm going a fair election. I can't vote.
Election.
Listen.
Why can't you vote?
Let me just understand what I'm saying.
James, why can't you vote?
Because I love God, and God don't support.
See you later.
It's okay, it's not all of our money. Let's just be clear. Our country can do both at the same time, support other countries and support ours. That's why we're a superpower.
Why do you guys think that $1.2 billion of damage and 25 lives?
Okay, why is the BLM protest so important to everybody right now? They didn't care about it in 2020 under Donald Trump's presidency.
Philosophy. True.
Oh my goodness, you said it right. Most people can never say it right.
I love
Phonetics.
I just wanted to jump on here and say you are so awesome. I love everything that you do. I love the fact that you're bringing facts over feelings, because these people, that's all they are, is in their feelings. I appreciate that you are doing this, because it's important that we understand what's truly going on. It's important that the facts are out there. I've learned so much from you in such a short period of time that I've been listening to you on this page. I've never been a TikTok listener. I've gotten very involved in politics ever since probably right before he came down those escalators. And I am a big advocate for what is right for people. So yes, I voted Democrat, but I am about the people, right? As a lesbian woman married for 20 years, I have to vote for what's important for me and my family. And I thank you every single day for what you are doing. Keep doing you. Please continue doing you and continue spreading facts over feelings.
Appreciate you very much, Philosophy. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for your kind words. Much appreciated.
You're welcome.
You have a good day.
You too.
All right, bye.
Those are the people that we're fighting for. Like, I want her to feel as important as everybody else and not have to deal with the hate that she probably receives on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's exactly why we do it, right? I don't vote for myself. I vote for my kids. I vote for Political Mom's kids. I vote for Philosophy and her wife, and I vote for people who don't have voices in our society. I mean, this story that I read yesterday, I think, is really interesting. It's about how I want to get the title right. I'll just read the first part about it, and I think it's really, really appropriate, because especially what we see with Kamala Harris. And I think it was Van Jones last night post interview that he talked about how she needs to be flawless while Donald Trump is lawless. And I think that really resonated with me. So this is about, the title of this story is, hold on, if I can find this again. Everybody, please keep tapping and sharing. We appreciate y'all very much. Hold on. It's not loading. The title of this story is Kamala Harris proves that the most disrespected person in America is still the black woman. Vice President's historic presidential bid exposes America's deep-seated racism against black women. Over 60 years ago, human rights activist and African-American revolutionary Malcolm X assessed and asserted, quote, "The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. The most disrespected, unprotected, and neglected person in America is still the black woman." So, again, Kamala Harris is expected to be flawless while Donald Trump is lawless. She's up there talking about, again, I will say this objectively. She tends to give long-winded answers. And sometimes she sort of meanders between different points. I get it. That's a particular speaking style. But we're talking about someone who's literally laying out what she sees as the future for America. That impacts everybody. Protection of rights, opportunities for homeowners, tax breaks for the middle class, going after the rich, going after price gouging. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is talking about Arnold Palmer's dick. I mean, give me a fucking break.
Hey, Gino, I sent you an invite just because I want to hear about how she's taking away free speech. And I think that would be a good conversation to be had.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Anderson was giving her softball questions now. Okay, whatever. Chunky, how are you today?
Pretty good. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
Okay, so I got a question for you guys.
Okay.
When a Republican or a Trump supporter comes in here, why can't their voice be heard? And then you guys kick them out. Why is that?
It's not about their voice, friend. I'll have a conversation with anybody, but if somebody wants to come up here and split, Can I answer my question? Yeah, can I answer the question that you asked? Cool.
Absolutely.
can I answer the question you asked? Thanks. So it's not about my not wanting to hear their voice. I just don't let people spread misinformation. And for people who want to have a conversation, I've talked to thousands of people in this space. You know, people who agree with me, people who disagree with me. It's all about the type of the conversation. Now, if you want to say it's a fact and you're not willing to prove it, then what's the point of having the conversation? If you want to use racist rhetoric, then what's the point of me platforming somebody? I'm not going to come up here and let people spread lies. Other people at other platforms might. That's just not how I run my show.
That's what I'm
If you want to
saying.
have a conversation about something, if you want to have a conversation,
chance to voice it.
No,
You're
no,
just
no, no.
blocking them out.
It's not about voicing. It's about being factual. Like, I'm not going to make a claim up here and not provide the proof to back up my claim. Even I'm a Democrat, and I will still do that
Like the
because
people
it's
that
the
would-
right thing to
Nobody
do.
can be factual if you don't let them. That's what I'm saying.
So they don't even want to do that because I went to go provide something, and that guy said I was wrong, and I was like, no, I'm not. Here would be the evidence to that. He didn't want to hear it. He just want to keep spreading some misinformation that was wrong.
yeah, I choose not
Okay,
to
so-
platform misinformation,
Why?
Chunky. So if you want to talk about something, we can talk about something. But my rules are simple. If you make a claim, you're the one that's got to provide backup for it, and we don't answer questions with questions. So it's really that simple.
I got you.
So do you have
But
a?
where I'm relating to is like the last guy that was in here said something about 1.2 billion dollars, and you just kicked him out.
Because it was the
you
same
don't wanna
guy on
hear
his
it.
third. It was the
It's
same
the
guy
same
on his
guy.
third account, Chunky. It was the same guy on his third account.
He came up and switched
Gotcha.
accounts. Yeah.
So he's trolling. Got you. I understand.
Exactly. Exactly.
I understand. I was just curious. I'm not starting anything. I just wanted to know. That's all.
No, do you want to have a
All right,
conversation?
No, I don't want a conversation about the whole politics. I just wanted to know why people weren't being heard. That's all.
It's not about being heard. It's about, again, my space. Everybody can run their lives the way they want. I've made a commitment that I'm not going to platform people who are going to spread misinformation. If you can't answer questions, then what's the point of having the conversation? I've spoken
Right.
to plenty of people that are Trump supporters that we've had good conversations. It's because
That's
there
great.
has to be a willingness. And
Right.
trolls are trolls, man. What's the point, right?
Exactly. I get it. And
Yeah.
I'm not by any means voting for Kamala. I mean, I
Kamala.
see different policies.
Kamala.
Kamala, however you pronounce it, whatever.
No, it's not whatever.
But,
It's Kamala.
I see different policies Trump puts in place.
What? You cut out. I didn't hear what you said.
I see where Trump puts in policies that I don't agree with that she's trying to
what?
do, and that's why I'm voting for
So
Trump. Because he's going to lower.
he's going to lower what?
I don't what
He's going to lower what, Chunky?
taxes
For who?
groceries
For who?
for the American people.
No.
No.
He is a businessman.
Okay.
Chunky. So let's try to have a conversation here. So the irony is that every Nobel laureates, economic experts all over the world have said that Donald Trump's tariff plan, because that's all he talks about, because that's the only thing he knows about economics, he doesn't even know what tariffs are, would cripple the American middle class. So what you're talking about is the same old tired argument that the right likes to use, that we give corporations tax cuts, trickle down economics, and that's supposed to be what's best for America. We have 50 years of that being just nonsense. So what would you rather do? Would you rather look at an economic system that we know has worked because we've got a model? We've got Bill Clinton's economic plan, his tax cuts, and how that really benefited the middle class. Or would you like to look at trickle-down economics that has never worked, and then Trump's tariffs would add like $6,000 a year to the American family? So what would you rather have?
I would go for the economics. And the reason I say this is because when Trump was in office, we seen where the economy was.
Right. So what did Trump
And
do?
now we see he kept the prices down.
No, but how did Trump keep the prices down, Chunky?
That I don't know. I don't know the facts on that.
Okay. So
that's
what you're
how I
talking
see
about?
things.
See, we're having a conversation, right? Right. We're having a
Yes.
conversation. So what you're talking
Absolutely.
about is, you know what the causation correlation reality? Do you understand what that is?
Yes.
What is it then? Tell me what it is.
What's that?
What is causation correlation? What is it? Do you know what it is?
Causation, coordination.
Correlation. So I'll give you an example, make it easier for you. So you think because gas prices were lower under the Trump administration, you think he had something to do with it?
I believe he did.
Okay, but you don't know what, right?
I don't know what. You're correct.
Okay, so then if you don't know what it is, then that's causation correlation. Because he was in power and gas prices were low, you correlate that to Trump being responsible for it.
Okay.
So what do you think is more likely, that he didn't do anything and it just happened to be the case that gas prices were lower? Because gas prices started to come down under Obama and they actually went back up under Trump. So do we blame Trump for the rise in gas prices?
I mean, what were the gas prices
I can tell you.
under Obama? I'm just curious.
I'll tell you in 1 second. Let me just give this. So the source that we use is the EIA, which is the U.S. Energy Information Administration. It's the same organization that's been providing data going back to 1990s. So would you trust that as a source?
EIA.
EIA.gov.
Okay.
Would you trust that as a source?
We'll look into it. Sure.
Okay. So let's use the last day. Let's use December of 2016 for Obama. Would you accept that? Because Trump took office in January of 2017.
Right.
Okay. So the national average for gas prices at the end of the Obama administration, again, this is December of 2016, was $2.36. That's the national average. Okay. January 2017, 245. February, 242. March, 244. April, 252. May, 259. June, 249. So immediately when Trump took office, gas prices went up. So do we blame Trump for that?
Just a little bit.
Okay, but
I can't necessarily blame him for it because we do fluctuate in fuel prices.
Okay, then can you blame Joe Biden?
Yes, you can.
Chunky, explain to me how it is that gas prices went up under Trump and you don't blame him, but they went up under Joe Biden, but you do blame him. How does that work?
How that works is because you said the national average is what, would you say 239, 249?
It was 236, then it went up to 256.
Okay, that's going to fluctuate a few cents. Where are we at right now? We were at $4 a gallon.
We're at 329 is the national average right now.
Right now. But at some point, we did get up to that. So Jesus. I will blame Joe Biden for it.
Okay, but Fred, so an observation from people on the left when they have conversations with people on the right, especially people that are Trump supporters, because you guys can't explain what Trump did. I literally just laid it out for you. I asked you, can you blame Trump for gas prices going up? And you said no. I said, okay, then you can't blame Joe Biden for gas prices going up either. You said, yeah, I can. So tell me what Joe Biden did to cause gas prices to go up.
Inflation.
No, how did he do inflation?
How did he do it? Yeah, what did he do? What did he do?
What?
He took our tax money.
No.
Raised all the prices of everything.
How did Joe Biden,
that's not how
Chunky,
it works.
How did Joe Biden raise the prices? Does he have a sticker gun? I used to work at a grocery store as a kid, one of the 9,000 jobs I've had in my life. I used to walk around with cans of soup and put the little sticker on them. Is that what Joe Biden did?
I mean, apparently Kamala worked at McDonald's.
What? Okay, this is crazy. Okay,
can you answer a question, bro? See, this is what I'm talking about. You said you want to have a conversation.
Here. No, you're not being realistic to think that the president of the United States made gas prices go up and down from inflation. Inflation made the gas prices go down without the president, right? Because inflation, if we're going to give Donald Trump 2020 for COVID, you have to give the 2 years under Biden that COVID was there, that inflation spiked. Like inflation caused gas prices to rise, not the president of the United States. If you can't be realistic about that and have common sense, then I don't know how you can have a conversation.
I'm having a conversation. So let me say this. COVID is over.
I want to go back to the question.
Why are we still in inflation?
Stop. Hold on
Our
a second.
inflation is pre-pandemic now.
Right. So I want to go back to the whole point that we're making here. You don't know. You said it yourself. You don't know what Trump did to lower gas prices. Okay. And the fact actually Trump didn't lower gas prices. What we just went through is gas prices went up. So you don't know. You don't have an argument for that because you don't understand the system. But yet it was easy for you to blame Biden and you still don't know what they did. So maybe this, Chunky, maybe it's just being an adult in our society to say, listen, I don't understand this stuff. All I know is the gas prices were lower. I don't know why. It just happened. Can you say that?
I can say that to an extent.
But you don't know why.
We are drilling our own gold.
We're drilling more than we were under Trump.
We're drilling more now.
Under Trump.
We're drilling more now.
Joe Biden cut off the pipeline. Our gas prices shot up.
The Supreme Court cut the pipeline, and it was only 8% built, and it wasn't even going to be done by now, and it wasn't our freaking oil. Like, I don't understand. Is this like a talking bingo card that we're like reflushing today?
Chunky, again, man, we're drilling more oil now than we were at any point in our history. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So the Supreme Court in 2020, to Political Bomb's point, the Supreme Court, July 6, 2020, I know the date exactly, affirmed a lower court's ruling that the pipeline could not continue because it was going over indigenous lands. Okay? So it had no relevance on, by the way, we've had more pipelines built since then in our country that nobody likes to talk about. Doesn't matter. You still don't get it. You still don't know why. You don't know why this happened. And I'm encouraging you just to kind of say, like, I don't know why. I guess I don't have all my information.
There's a lot of stuff I don't know. I will admit to it. There is a lot of stuff I don't know.
Okay, so then if you don't know these things, we know. I do this every single day. We do know these things. We do know that Donald Trump's tax and his tariff policies are inflationary. They're not good. They raise the price of goods on everybody. Donald Trump does not know economics. Therefore, he uses this big word, and he's been able to convince people like you that it's effective. So then again, I ask you, now that his economic plan is bullshit and would again favor the rich and drive up prices for everybody else, we know that. We know he doesn't have a health care plan. He's got the concept of one. So with all that aside, you want to vote for somebody who's a 34-time convicted felon and someone who's an adjudicated sexual predator. That's what you want to vote for.
So if you're saying that, then why hasn't he been jailed for it?
Because he's been convicted. He's awaiting sentencing, and the civil suit, the sexual assault is civil.
When is the conviction supposed to take place?
He's already been
conviction
convicted.
Already happened.
I mean, when is he supposed to be jailed?
Sentenced. We don't know what the sentence is going to be yet. That's after the election, November 25th, I think is the date. So you're going to vote for that. You're going to vote for a guy who's a convicted felon, a guy who tried to subvert democracy with a fake electors plot, telling people in 7 swing states to use fraudulent documents to try to subvert democracy and the will of the people. You want to vote for that?
Well, I don't see any proof that there was 34 convictions.
How about there is proof of 34 convictions because he's been convicted on 34 counts.
He didn't even get a chance to stand trial.
Not true.
What do you mean?
He was in the courtroom every single day, bro.
There was weeks. Yes,
he was in the courtroom every day. He was falling asleep. There was video coverage of it. Where have you been, man? So here's the thing, Chunky. You're a woefully misinformed or underinformed voter. You think you're voting for something without having any information at all. Would you be honest with me and tell me this? Where do you get your news from?
I get it from the news channel.
Which one?
But here's the thing.
Which news channel?
From Fox.
Of course.
Fox.
Bro, they're they're lying to you. They're not telling you the truth.
Both sides are. I believe both sides are.
Lying. No.
But you're only spewing stuff that came from Fox News. Like, Frank, I don't understand.
He's a 34-time convicted felon. He's sexual abuser, an adjudicated sexual abuser who deliberately and forcibly penetrated E. Jean Carroll's vagina with his fingers. That's what he did. He's on record saying that he would like to have generals like Schmittler did. He tried to overthrow the results of the election because he fucking lost and he couldn't accept it. He wants to terminate the Constitution.
And I can agree with you on media. I don't watch any news, but I'm saying that, like, Fox News went to court and said, we are not a news channel. We are an entertainment network. Therefore, we don't have the same rules that apply to us. then you're listening to an entertainment network tell you things and you're just running with it. I don't understand that.
Do you have kids, Chunky?
Yes, I do.
Do you have daughters?
I have a daughter, yes.
Okay, I have a daughter too. Okay, so I am voting for your daughter's rights to her body, and I am asking you to do the same. I'm asking you to vote for my daughter's rights to her body. I am asking you to not vote for a guy who's named in a lawsuit where he violently assaulted a 14-year-old girl. I'm asking you to not vote for a guy who, again, is an adjudicated sexual predator. I'm asking you to not vote for a guy who brags about taking the rights of women's body away from them. I'm asking you to not vote for that.
So how can I ask how he's taking the rights away?
Because
educate me on that.
Because he appointed 3 Supreme Court justices who overturned Roe v. Wade. That's how.
Say that again?
Because he appointed 3 Supreme Court justices that overturned Roe v. Wade. Prior to that, Roe v. Wade was federal protection for women's rights to their body. From Maine to Alaska, every woman in our country were given the same right. Because he did that, states now get to decide. And you know that women are losing their life in some of these states. You know that 134 women per day are becoming pregnant because of grape in these states that have overruled, who have taken away their rights to their body. That's 50,000 a year. And they're unable to get abortions in these states because there's no restrictions, because there are restrictions on it.
So what you're saying is you believe in abortion?
I believe in a woman's right to their body. I don't think the government should have anything to do with it.
Well, from the way I'm understanding is they're wanting the states to make that decision and not government. Is that correct?
Well, it is
That's
the government. It's the governors.
It's the state government.
It's not the state. It's not the people getting to decide. It's the governors. It's normally predominantly white men that get to make that decision. I don't really understand. If we're going to give it back to the states, we should absolutely have it as a mandatory on the ballot for everybody to have a say.
I agree with that. I do.
But it's not. But they don't want to do that. They don't want to give it to it. Actually, they're trying to remove it from ballots. And even when voted on from the people, some states are actually trying to retract that and burn like, no, actually, we didn't want to put it on the ballot, and we don't care about your voice.
So would you do? Sorry, Chelsea. Would you do anything for your daughter?
I'd do everything for my daughter.
Would you give her your kidney?
Absolutely.
Would you give her your blood?
Absolutely.
Give her your vote.
Because to me, it's about privacy. Like, more than anything, it's about my privacy. It's about my decision that I get to make. And I don't see anybody interfering with anybody else's privacy when it comes to their medical decisions. I just want to have that. I just want to have a say. And I don't think that's a big ask. I think that's my right. I have a constitutional right to privacy. And right now, the government is saying that I don't. Right now, Republicans are saying that I don't. And I don't understand that because I have individual freedom over my own body. And right now, somebody's saying, no, I'm just an incubator. I'm just somebody that is made to make other people. And that's it. That's my purpose.
What state do you live in, Chunky, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm in Indiana.
Okay, so let's see what the laws are in Indiana. Okay.
So you want women to make their choices on their body?
I want us to have a decision. Yes, I want us to make an own individual freedom. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Indiana, by the way, Indiana has some of the most restrictive anti-abortion policies in America.
Do they give exceptions?
Abortion is completely banned with very limited exceptions. Patients forced to make 2 trips for one in-person counseling and another at least 18 hours later for the abortion itself. Patients are forced to get an ultrasound. State Medicaid coverage of abortion care is banned. Private health insurance is banned. Medication abortions is also banned. Parental consent is required. Only physicians can provide abortions. Medication abortion is restricted. Unnecessary regulations are enforced and designed to shutter abortion clinics without basis in medical standards. Abortion is completely banned with very little exceptions, Chunky.
So
this
if
is what
I'm
we're talking about. So hang on one second, Chelsea. This is what we're talking about, friend. From guy to guy, from girl dad to girl dad, bro. if you literally would do anything for your kid, literally anything, then we're asking you to make a simple choice just to not vote for Trump. Because you know what's going to happen, friend? If he wins and he takes Congress is Republican, there will be a national abortion ban. And women in our country will be like the fucking Handmaid's Tale, bro. You don't want that,
So
do you?
I think abortion should be banned. I mean, that's just to an exception of incest or rape, anything like that.
But they're not
But
giving that in every, like, they're literally telling women that we don't care, or children even, that they don't care because they just want you to have a baby. They want to force to carry a baby because they don't want to have exceptions. Like, Donald Trump said I should be punished if I decide to make a decision about my body.
Exactly.
Punished. I should be given a punishment. I should be put in jail, locked up, or given the death penalty. Some states are asking for the death penalty for me making a decision about my body. That's crazy to think that you want to punish people that
is that
much.
what you're saying?
What?
Regardless of the situation, is that what you're saying?
Regardless of the situation, they want me to
Gotcha.
sit in front. There was an absolute push, and I think it was North Carolina, to have a panel of people that got to decide if my circumstances were okay enough to make the medical decision for myself. Not a doctor, a panel of elected officials that got to make that decision. Are you crazy?
I'm not
Like,
crazy.
I just want my own.
I'm just trying to learn
Do you
here.
have to go through that as a man? Do you have to go through that as a man ever for anything that you need? Ever?
So just listen to this 1 second, okay? This again, Donald Trump's own words, okay, Chunky? Okay?
Yes.
Hold on.
Some form of punishment.
For the woman. Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman.
Yeah.
I mean, he's telling you everything. He's telling you everything you should know. Again, if you said you would do everything for your daughter, you can have an opinion on abortion. All 360 million people who live in our country can have an opinion on abortion. But do you want the government telling your daughter what she can do with her body? Don't you want her to be able to? Don't you and your wife or your partner or whomever? I'm not making assumptions. Don't you guys want that decision to be made between you and the doctor, and not the government?
Absolutely, to a point, yes.
What do you mean to a point?
But you want me to protect my daughter.
I want you to protect your daughter.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So how am I protecting my daughter when we got transgenders going into the
Oh my God, bro. Give me a fucking break.
My jeez, why do we do that? Why do we not just sit there and say, you know what? My personal belief should not be pushed on other people and their lives. Like, why can't we ever just sit back and be like, you know what? Everybody has the right to make a decision about themselves. We're not over here regulating men's decisions. We're not over here saying, you know what? It's probably not okay that we spend billions and billions of dollars of taxpayer money on Viagra for everybody to have. Like, it's probably just crazy to think that we're okay with that. Like, that's maddening. I don't deserve to have a bigger sentence, a death penalty in some states, because you're not even giving that to the people that are actually criminals. Like, that's wow. That's crazy. A man can just, I'm sorry. I'm so mad.
I'm sorry. You got more to say?
Yeah, I'm baffled. I'm baffled that people just keep switching and pivoting on issues and not thinking, you know what? I probably, like, could you imagine if his daughter actually went through something like that and he was like, sorry, my personal beliefs are more important than like you getting a right to privacy or you having your own health care. I'm sorry.
I want to play some, this is just, again, a bit triggering, but this is Christy Tomlin. She's a pediatric and adolescent gynecologist. She recalls an encounter she had with police. Quote, I've had police threaten to come to my home, she says. I've had police call my phone and threaten me. So this is she's talking about a story, and I want you guys to listen to this because I think it's appropriate based on what we just heard.
I said, I'm Dr. Tomlin, and I'm just calling to report that I just performed an abortion for a victim of rape. He starts asking me all these questions. He said, and how old is the mother? And I said, by mother, do you mean the pregnant child who was raped? And he goes, yeah. You know what I mean, that. And I said, well, this victimized child is 12. And he asked me all sorts of questions about her. And then he said, all right, ma'am. And how old are you? And I was like, what? What does it matter how old I am? And he was like, ma'am, I'm asking you a question. How old are you? So I gave him my age and he goes, and what is your ethnicity? And my nurse is like on edge. Like she's like staring at me and she's mouthing like, are you okay? And I said, sir, I'm really uncomfortable answering that question. And I don't really see why I need to answer what my ethnicity is. And he goes, ma'am, I asked you a question. I'm telling you what the computer is asking me to ask you. Can you please just answer the question? So I answered the question and he asked me a couple things more. And then we ended the conversation and I said, officer, is there a report number? And he goes, nope, there is no report number. And then I left and I got home and he had left a message while I was driving on my cell phone.
Yes, this is New Richland County Sheriff's Department. I forgot to give you the case number.
Except I never gave him my cell phone. I never gave him my cell phone. I didn't call him from my cell phone. I never gave him my cell phone. I called from the office.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Jessica, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing fine, thank you. What's on your mind today?
I'm just a little frustrated and irritated. I hate when people want to say, like, this was obviously a while ago, the guy that said that he couldn't vote and you kept asking him why. And he said because he believes in God. So, you know, I found that kind of weird because, you know, a lot of the people, because I believe in God, that's why I have to vote for Trump, which makes no sense to me as a Christian myself. You know, God, this is what I have conversations like with my mom and people that I know. God doesn't force himself on us. He gives us free will.
Right.
To choose what we want to do. You want to believe in him. You don't want to believe in him. You want to do whatever you want with your life. So why are we, or why is the government trying to force, you know, all these things on women when that's not what God would do with us? You know what I mean? We should be able to make our own choice. And to say, I mean, I've gotten a lot of people say, oh, as a Christian, or say you're not a Christian if you vote Democrat, you know? And those are like the little things. Like I have a lot of people on Facebook where, you know, they're my friends on Facebook and I'll start to type something and then I just erase it because it's not, as you guys can see, it's not worth your sanity to keep going back and forth with some of them. I don't feel like MAGA is Republican. MAGA is its own beast. You know, I know a lot of Republican people that don't act like that. You know what I mean? And it's sad that that's what it's come to. And that to me is what Donald Trump has done to the Republican Party. You know, back in the day, like you see all these videos with Bush and Obama, like just, you know, it's okay to disagree, but like we can't even be civil anymore with each other. And it's scary, actually. It's really scary. But I just wanted to say too, I appreciate you guys on here. You know, I know you're trying to give the correct information and just some people are just, no matter what, they're not going to accept it. So
Thanks for saying that, Jessica. I agree. I mean, again, to each his own, right? Free will, believe what you want. Just people who claim, the worst part about it is the people who claim about this, who clamor and complain about the size of government, literally want government in their bedroom. Mm-hmm. And that's the part that gets me. But thank you for being here, Jessica. I appreciate you very much.
Have a good day.
You too. You know, we have to talk about this. It's not just because it's 12 days prior to the election, but this is Christian nationalism. So someone had mentioned earlier, and I agree, it was Boston Smalls who started the show. You know, fascism has always been around in our country. You know, there are elements of fascism in both parties, no doubt about it. But when you check the box of every tenet of fascism, then you get MAGA. That's what you have. I mean, it's literally history repeating itself. We see this. That's not going away because you've got guys like J.D. Vance. You've got people that are in Project 2025 and the Heritage Foundation. That's what they want. Christian nationalism has dug in. Mike Johnson, for example, you know, 2 heartbeats away from the presidency. So this is what we're talking about. This is why we have to talk about this shit and expose it. This is why it's necessary to remind people. I thought there was an opportunity there. I said, bro, vote for your daughter. I'm supposed to protect my daughter. Yeah, but what about the trans people? I mean, this is what we're talking about. So when backed into a corner, and do not give them breath. Do not relent on the truth. The facts, the truth is on your side. Do not relent. Do not. Continue to remind them. Continue to force it down their throat until they fucking hear it. Remind them every single election. Don't just wait every 4 years. Every chance you have to vote, you fucking vote. Every chance you have to be involved about something to defend the rights of marginalized groups, fucking do it. No more sitting on the sidelines. No more of this shit. Don't expect somebody else to do it for you. Apathy is what got us Trump in the first place. Apathy is what took away women's rights in this country. Apathy is what's taken away rights of the marginalized throughout our history. People who fucking look like me have created this entire system. And there are dads out there who have daughters, #girldad, and sons. Try to teach them the right way to do it. No more. Wake the fuck up. Stop worrying about everything to be afraid of. Stop being a sheep. And you're told to be afraid of trans people and immigrants. Give me a fucking break. Stand the fuck up. Defend. Throw yourself in front of a bus for your kids, but you won't do it in a voting booth?
My favorite part is the people that they are afraid of, like, we are afraid of them. Like, we're afraid of you. Look in the mirror. It's you. You're definitely the problem. And to think that you want to, like, point the finger at anybody else, just point it back at you. Like, we're afraid of you. We choose the bear because of you. Like, that's it.
Good morning, Queen. Thank you for being here.
Hello, Steve. How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to come up and say that I've taken like a 2-week break from TikTok because these people are just getting worse and worse and worse. Like the last guest. Well, screw voting for my daughter, but what about the trans people? What about me, a trans person? The fact is 80% of all reported SAs and grapes are cis heterosexual white men. It's not us.
Again, it's me.
It's them.
Yep.
Yeah, it's them. It's not us. I'm sitting in my home putting clothes up in my closet right now. How does that affect anybody else?
It doesn't.
Exactly. And I'm just so tired of these people. It's like and then when I get emotional about it, which is sometimes, they start berating me and all that stuff. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that this election, my existence depends on this election. Does yours? Absolutely not.
You're right. No matter who wins, Queen, my life doesn't change. As a cis white hetero man in society, my life doesn't change at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been like that.
Yeah. Women are going to lose. I mean, everybody is going to lose except people like you, Steve.
Yep.
And it's just
which is why I get so angry. Which is why I get so angry when I see other people not willing to accept the fact that we've created this fucking system and we got to do something to change it. We're the last holdout. We're the last demographic voting bloc that continues to, from the large majority perspective, continues to vote for right-wing rhetoric, bullshit, people like Trump, people like J.D. Vance, people like Ted Cruz, people like Josh Hawley. We are the ones that are holding America back. Everybody else has gotten on board. Everybody else. It's us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand because, like, Queen has the exact same rights as everybody else to live her life. And you guys are just so hateful and disgusting that you would rather spend your day hating other people than worrying about yourself. I can't wrap my head around it. Like,
and it takes so much more energy to hate a person or hate a group of people than it does just to leave us alone and let us live our lives. Like it
why do they
takes so much
care?
energy. And it's like, is this really the hill you're gonna die on or unalive on? I mean, because you don't want us around. We're not doing anything to kids. We're not doing grapes. We're not doing essays. I mean, again, it's Trump fear mongering, and they're eating it up.
I appreciate you, Queen. You know that.
Yeah. Oh,
I do
and
too.
I like Spicy Steve sometimes, by the way.
Thank you so much,
He shows
though,
up
for
once in a while.
like, thank you so much for existing as a person. Thank you so much for like bringing this to the forefront. Like, I'm gonna stand by you, and we're gonna fight together because this isn't over, and it's not over at this election.
Oh, hell
We're
no.
gonna keep going.
Exactly. You know, I like this, and I used to refer to us as allies, and someone corrected me and said, no, not allies, accomplices.
Exactly.
So
Yep. Accomplice.
I'm an accomplice in the fight, Queen.
Yeah. Accomplice would be, so the difference to me is allies will what's ooh, I got my words jumbled up. Allies are people that will sit on here and stick up for us. Accomplices are people that will go out in the streets and march with us and fight with us and take bullets for us. That's
Right.
the difference.
As it was explained to me, an ally means that the person that you want to be an ally with needs to grant you the ability. Like, yeah, okay, we'll accept you as an ally.
Right.
An accomplice is someone who proves it. An accomplice is somebody who's saying, I want to make sure that I earn the right to be in this fight with you. And that's how I see it.
Yeah.
Queen, thank you. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
As always.
Thank you so much.
Good luck with the folding. Good luck with the folding in the closet stuff that I hate. I would just assume cover with
Well,
a
I
blanket.
just redid my closet, so I like, obviously when I started to transition, I had to buy a whole new wardrobe, and none of my stuff is hung up. So I redid my closet last night, and now I have
The question
to.
is, do you need a bigger closet now, though? The question is, do you need a bigger closet?
Yeah, I probably do. The wife will be pretty pissed if I take over her section of the closet. That's what she's worried about.
I appreciate you, friend. Thanks for being here.
All right. Well, thank you.
See you later. We're just talking about basic, fundamental human fucking rights. Why is it so difficult for people to grasp that concept? It's not that hard. It shouldn't be that hard. It should never be that hard. Like, just fundamental human rights and ability to exist. A woman has no name. How are you today?
Oh, hello, Facts. I am fucking struggling, man. This is fucking nuts. I feel like listening to you. You are familiar with the Theo Bros, yes?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do you guys discuss them a lot?
I try to avoid it. I don't want to give them oxygen. I just deal with them when they come up and they show up.
Okay. Well, I don't necessarily want to give them oxygen either, but I think a lot of Christian women might find their beliefs interesting. I'm a Christian woman. I grew up in a Christian household that believed in love, not hate. I believe Politica. I don't know if it was you that was saying earlier, but God and the free will aspect. Like, that's what I believe, right? Is God gave us a job. Our job is to love thy neighbor and love God, and not hate, not judge, like all of that, God's job, right? Not ours. And God gave free will to allow somebody to make their own decisions. And it just kills me. It really hurts me because, like, my cousin is a Christian, and I messaged her the other day, and she was like so up in arms about the abortion, or I'm sorry, AB stuff. Stupid TikTok and its censoring.
You can say abortion. I say it every day. So
okay, all right. I wondered if all that was kind of BS myself. But anyway, you know, and I'm just sitting there going, listen, you have a daughter and you have granddaughters. Like, do you realize that these folks want to take their right to vote? Like, literally, JD Vance fantasizes about completely dismantling the entire government. It is absolutely the most terrifying. Like, I can't work. I can't sleep. I am freaking out. Like, somebody help me understand that it is not 50% of our population that supports this guy. Like, I am genuinely upset.
It's not.
It's not.
Okay. It's well, again, let's look at the numbers from 2020, right? 74 million votes. We are a country of 335, whatever the number is, 350 million people. So it's half of the electorate, the voting population, not half our country. There is more people in our country who believe what we believe. You can just look at, here's the indicator. This is how you know. Every single time that a woman's right to their body comes up on a ballot measure, when the citizens are asked to vote for it, even in bright red states like Kansas, it passes. And that includes Republicans, Democrats, independents, libertarians, Green Party, everybody. There's more of us than there are of them. They just happen to be louder.
God, I hope that's the case. I really do. I mean, I'm in Texas, and my whole block is Democratic, right? We have straight couples, we have gay couples, we have interracial couples, we have, our block is literally like the definition of America in my mind.
There you go.
And gosh, but some of them, they'll start bitching about Biden and the economy. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, we all live in a beautiful neighborhood. We can pay our bills. Like, my stock is up. I've never been a rich person, but I have started investing and I have started, all these things. I have lived paycheck to paycheck. I was a teacher making $1,200 a month take home with a mortgage of my own because I had a better paying job before I became a teacher. But, like what the ever-loving fuck? And especially these men who send their children to public schools knowing that they want to defund public education, which will take away grants for schools that don't have as much financing due to the way the schools are funded. They will take away individualized education plan support. So people with special needs, they will get, there's 4,000 jobs just in the DOE, right? And like, what? How is this guy even allowed to run?
Speaking of the Department of Education, people really need to understand the difference between school choice and school vouchers. School choice in certain states are you get to pick. I'm in a school district that it goes through 3 cities. Therefore, I get to make a decision and put a list together of 3 schools I want my kids to go to. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. And if I don't get in the first one, I get the second one, or down the ballot. School vouchers would literally take public funding and give it to private schools. They don't have regulations on special needs departments.
Right.
They don't have to have counselors. They can have chancellors or pastors or whatever, and they don't have to give any law enforcement any of that information. They can withhold it. They do not have to give it. And so there's just no regulation. It's just a free for all, and it's absolutely ridiculous to want to hurt. And if you look I have a graph that shows a state that is going through school vouchers and what is happening to public schools.
Arizona.
Well, Arizona's been doing it for years. I don't think this is Arizona.
Okay. Yeah. So essentially, for anyone in the room who doesn't know, I used to be a teacher and I taught in 2 different states. I don't teach in the state that I'm in, but if a teacher wants to move to another state, they have to be able to pass the rules, regulations to teach in public schools, right? That typically will cost the teacher around $1,000 or more just to get the certification transferred to another state, depending on the states. So anytime somebody says, send it to the states, I want you to understand, essentially they're saying, tear the United States apart and make it a private set of countries, okay? Because here in Texas, I don't teach because money to take a test. And I didn't want to pay extra money to take the test. I already paid them $1,000 and I basically just donated all that money because I'm not licensed here in Texas and I never will be because like you said, so
this
here's
the graph. So I'm in Texas, but this is the graph for Iowa.
Great. So essentially, here's what happens, friends, is every state sets the curriculum, okay? So the public school curriculum is set by the states, and then private schools can teach anything they want. So they can essentially indoctrinate children, they can whitewash history, they can, it's really literally anything they want. And so anytime somebody uses these vouchers, they're taking tax money and putting it into these private businesses, these private schools, to allow them to teach whatever they want. And most of those vouchers typically will go to people who are already putting their kids into private school with funding that they have. So they have money to be able to put their kid into private school, right? So they're just taking money away from public education. A lot of tax money for schools comes from things like housing, property taxes, things like that. So if you think about rural areas, right, where there's not a lot of homes, not, smaller communities, they're not going to necessarily get those monies.
Let's
for their
mention
schools.
Texas being specific, since both of us live here. Like,
Yeah,
the reason
definitely.
that the Texas voucher scam did not work, no matter how many times they renamed it, is because rural communities sat up and said, this won't help us. We
Yep.
won't get any of this, so why would we help vote for it? And then he
Right.
went to go replace people. That thing that Steve had up on there, like, that is astronomical that private schools are literally building. That's up 36 private schools and then took away 10 more public schools. That is the funding that they are losing in Iowa because of school vouchers. Curriculum is absolutely based on a board that the governor appoints for the state to make the curriculum. If you're mad about what's being taught to your children, get mad at your governor. Get mad at the board that does it. Do not punish these children.
That's right. And we talk about this all the time, and we ask this question. And Chelsea, I've had this conversation with people who support vouchers, and I ask them, who pays the difference? And they can't answer because they don't know. And then some who come at it from their place of privilege say, well, the parents. Okay, some of the parents now can't afford to feed their kids, and the only meals their kids get are at school.
Right.
And in my case, if this sort of happened in my state, for example, I'm 64 miles away from a private school. Some people don't have transportation; they rely on public buses and school buses, right?
Yeah.
So again, this is, and let's be real, big picture, this is by design. The right wants to keep their electorate poor and dumb.
Yep.
And then convince everybody else that they're the enemy. It's the brown people that are causing you to be dumb. It's the gay people that are causing you to be uneducated.
Yeah,
It's the
and
Mexicans. It's the Nicaraguans. It's Aurora, Colorado. It's the people that are eating the dogs and the cats. It's by design. It's not just random.
No,
This is
we
fascism.
we need more people with who can speak Spanish out there speaking as well. But I don't know if other people. I just feel like sharing this, and then I can step
appreciate
away.
that.
But
Thank you.
But if you all have not read the article about JD Vance and the Theo Bros, you know how to Google. Just go use it, and please, please, please read that article. All right. Number 2. Greg Abbott tried to hold teacher pay raises hostage in order to pass his vouchers. So if you know an educator, you need to understand that they are already struggling living in poverty, and then they want to hold their pay raises hostage to pass these private school vouchers. Okay? So just tell your friends, make sure you're asking them really good questions about what they value beyond the things like abortion. Okay? That's all I got. Thank you so much.
appreciate you. You got
Keep
it.
doing this work. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good day.
Thank you so much.
All right, friends. 1,800 people in here. We got an hour and a half. Can we get to 1 million today? I'd appreciate that. Please consider contributing to the gifting goal. Please consider subscribing. There's new merch in our merch store. I would also like to encourage folks to check out the top link that's in my Discord. That's in the link tree. It's the It's a sunflower project. A creator on this app, Tom Dagger, Custom Apparel, has created these amazing shirts with proceeds going to support the largest orphanage in Ukraine. It's a cause that he and I spoke about yesterday. We're going to get more involved, but I just wanted to provide the information. It's out there. It's literally the first link that's in my link tree. Would appreciate you guys checking that out. Bring up Nikki real quick. I think she's got to do a map. or do a mod announcement.
Hello. First of all, we need the disclaimer played, but can you do me a favor? First of all, everybody keep tapping. Can we get to 500,000, please? And keep sharing. And the heart on the top, me. Everybody send a heart me. It costs 1 coin. It just pushes it out to the live. I'm going to ask very respectfully, people, please in the comments stop using caps and stop spamming back and forth. It's becoming very overwhelming because you keep doing it. We're just going to mute you now. I'm not going to give any more warnings. It's and friendly or not. I'm sorry. We're asking you not to. In the queue, we have almost 30 people in there. So if you're a friendly, I'm going to ask you to drop out until at least 11 so he can have some conversations and then you can come back up then. I'm going to clear the queue if you guys don't. I just want you guys to be able to talk, but we got to like kind of keep it going, but we're having some really good conversations. And the only way to do that is to do that. So if you guys could drop out for like a half an hour, just so he can have some conversations. And then at 11 o'clock, you guys can request back up in. Keep tapping, keep liking, keep everything else. Link to the Discord is in his bio and Gregory's bio. You do not have to be a subscriber to join the Discord. If you subscribe, there are Discord channels and perks and everything, and pay apps are in his bio. We're helping a friend with some big medical bills. I think that's it, but please just lay off the caps and the spamming and the hate speech. I'm just blocking you. I'm done. So
Thank you, Nikki. Appreciate you.
Yep.
All right, bye. We'll do our disclaimer real quick. Somewhere. There it is.
TikTok. It is our intention during these live broadcasts to only provide fact-based information to the absolute best of our ability. We strive to never spread misinformation or to platform those that do. Opinions of our guests or commenters are theirs and theirs alone and do not reflect those of the host. Hate speech is not allowed, and we are diligent about policing it. This platform is for educational purposes only. We now return you to our regularly scheduled pandemonium, already in progress.
Good morning, Pablo. How are you today?
Good. How's your day going?
It's going fine. What's on your mind?
Yesterday, I saw her interview with CNN, and it was a terrible interview.
What was terrible about it?
The interview the town hall last night, Pablo?
What?
The town hall last night?
I think it's with Cooper.
Yeah, the town hall. You thought it was terrible?
She didn't sound authentic. She didn't you're feeling. Listen, when you're dealing with people, you're looking at their body language. You're looking at answers. She didn't connect with people, and
Who are you voting for?
well, I'm still undecided.
Okay, so let's do this. So we have Kamala Harris last night and then going into Fox News and going into safe space into enemy territory, and talks about a plan to save America.
Hold on.
And then you have Donald Trump talking about Arnold Palmer's dick.
Okay, well, listen, we're talking about what happened. So you guys get into this Trump right away. It's like I'm talking about.
No, Pablo, you said you're not sure yet. You said you're undecided. Hold on. You said you're undecided. So I'm trying to make the case here because Donald Trump is literally talking about Arnold Palmer's dick. And he's talked about how he wants his generals to be more like Schmittler. And you're complaining that Kamala Harris didn't answer the question what you wanted her to?
Where was that at? I like to look that up.
At a rally. Would you like us to play it for you?
Yeah.
You don't know that he talked about did he talk about Arnold Palmer's dick?
No, put it on. Let me see.
Okay, I'll find it for a second, Chelsea. If you could just chat with our friend here.
So my thing was, I wanted to hear some policies. I want to hear what she like.
She talked about that. Where were you, bro?
You've literally talked about policies.
I don't know what are you guys are listening to? It's like y'all listening.
Did you watch the whole thing or
watch
just
the whole thing? Did you watch?
Hold on.
Did you watch Fox News recap or did you watch it?
No, I watched the CNN one.
Yeah, did you watch the Fox News
whole
recap?
thing because I heard policies.
Yes, it was horrible. I said, she looks like she's lying. She's very stiff.
What is a stiff?
Like Obama, when I voted for Obama, right? When Obama came out and he spoke, you can hear him speak clearly. He just was very convincing. He just, he'd land a nice speech every time he spoke.
I think your problem is more with a woman and not really
No,
with
no, listen, we all come from a woman. What are you talking about?
because
So why do
you
you hold
don't
him to
like the
Bernie
way
Sanders?
that she's stiff looking. You're like, I can't vote for someone that looks stiff.
No, listen, there are women that I can tell can handle a situation and feel really relaxed and
Okay, I'm just done with the fucking misogynist.
That's crazy.
I can't find that audio. I've got
I have it. I'll send it to you. Hold on.
Okay, I know I have it somewhere. I just can't find it. Getting lots of lag here. Well, I'll play this first because I think no, I don't want to play that. I already played that a bunch of times. Where is it? I know I have it someplace. Everyone, please keep on liking and sharing. Appreciate you. Yes, I'm vamping because I can't find what I'm looking for, and I hate that. Where is it?
I sent it to you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Here we go.
And I say that in all, but Arnold Palmer was all man. And I say that in all due respect to women, and I love women. But this is a guy that was all man. This man was strong and tough. And I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God, that's unbelievable. I had to say it. We have women that are highly sophisticated here.
Kamala Harris takes interview questions. She goes to Fox News. She's talking about helping the middle class. She's talking about reforming our tax code so the middle class finally benefits and the rich start paying more. She talks about offering incentives for first-time home buyers. She talks about offering incentives for entrepreneurs. She talks about continuing to lower the cost of pharmaceuticals for seniors and for everybody affected by diabetes and other things. And Donald Trump is talking about Arnold Palmer's dick. And yet Kamala Harris is the one that's not connecting with voters.
They're like, she's stiff. I'm fucking stiff. That doesn't
Pablo,
take
you're a
away from
misogynistic
shit.
pig, bro. You've lost your time. You can't come back. Wow, it's just crazy. I said this earlier. She has to be flawless, and yet he can be lawless.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Crazy. Glacier, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
What's on your mind?
I just wanted to talk about the last guy, Chucky, I guess his name was. Chuck?
Mm-hmm.
I knew from the beginning he was a waste of time. The guy just, especially when he's watching Fox News.
Of course.
Fox News is an entertainment. It's not even a news broadcast station.
Correct.
And it just mind boggles me how these mega, I call them, they're in a cult. That's what I say, they're in a cult.
I appreciate that, Fred. We're trying to look for ops. If you want to come back at 11, we got to be respectful to everybody else who's just requested who might be a friendly. But I appreciate your perspective on that, friend. Appreciate you very much. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you. And you're, just one more thing, and I'll get off. Yeah, you're very intelligent, and I love listening to you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. You have a good day. Appreciate
You
it.
too.
I want to just take a moment because I think it's necessary as we have a little break here as people are continuing to join us. I want to read this. I read it yesterday, and I think it's appropriate for people who generally just want to defend and deflect away from the fact that they're voting for a serial sexual predator and a person who has just defiled women and is one of the most despicable humans that I've ever seen, quite frankly, who's in our faces every day. I read this yesterday. I'm going to read it again, and I think I'm going to read it every single day between now and the election. This is authored by Courtney Hood, and it'll take me a couple minutes to read it. I guess I would just ask you guys if you wouldn't mind just giving me a couple minutes here. To those participating in the March for Life, first of all, good for you. Raise your voices, express your concerns, gather, make signs, do your thing. I won't call you names. I respect your right to do this, and I respect your convictions. Second, be clear with your cause. You don't march for life. You march for the birth of a fetus. Think about this. At what age does life stop mattering to you? When it's in the womb, you cry for it, you fight for it, you empathize with it, and you march for it. When it becomes 1 month old, you hope the mother supports it, feeds it, nurtures it. However, you don't support the mother in this endeavor. You think she should work hard, pull herself up by the bootstraps, and get by on her $7.25 minimum wage job. You vote for those who block legislation to protect its mother from violence, from making the same wage as men, from getting the basic health care, from getting food stamps and support to care for it. When it becomes 6 years old, you hope there's a public school around to teach it. Nevertheless, you vote for those who don't want to fund public schools. You vote for those who believe our schools are flush with cash, yet somehow failing. The wealthier kids that live by are able to go to different schools, but this fetus is stuck in an overcrowded and underfunded public school, so it falls behind in reading and in math, etc. You feel bad for it, but you don't march for it. You mostly blame its single mother for not doing more to be involved in its schooling. She should do homework with it. She should read to it more. Maybe she should get it a tutor. Nonetheless, she works 2 jobs, but she's barely getting by. Now it's 14 years old, just had its first experience with a boy. It's not sure if it was safe with this boy, and it thinks it needs to go see a doctor. However, it's scared and it's embarrassed and it doesn't want to get in trouble with mom. Therefore, it looks for a Planned Parenthood in its area, but they've all been shut down. But you feel no sympathy for it anymore. It's now a slut to you. You should have made better choices, been more Christian. It's no longer worthy of your support, but you don't march for it. Because you're not marching for life. You're marching for religion and righteousness and oppressing women with outdated views of how they should behave. Therefore, it gets no prenatal care. It goes on living for the next 3 months wearing baggy sweatshirts and hoping no one notices. When his mom finally does notice, she tells it to get an abortion because they don't have the money to support it. And because it's still a child trying to go to school and have a life. Again, you don't march for this life. You voted to make abortion illegal and you feel good. You feel right with God because you saved another fetus. This time it was given up for adoption. It joins more than 400,000 children in the U.S. foster care system. If it's lucky, it'll only spend the average 3 years in foster care. If it's lucky, it won't fall into the 78% of foster care children who experience some form of abuse. If it's lucky, it won't be one of the 80% of imprisoned people who spent time in foster care system. If it's lucky, it'll be one of the more than 50% of foster kids that graduate high school by the age of 18. If it's lucky, it'll be one of 9% of former foster care kids that earn a bachelor's degree. If it's lucky, it'll be adopted before it turns 18 and is thrown into the streets to fend for itself. However, you don't march for those lives. Now it's 18. Jump from foster home to foster home to foster home. It doesn't have a family. It's depressed, emotionally damaged. It needs help. It could use some health care, but obviously can't afford it. It could use a job but has no clothes and nowhere to stay. You avoid it on the streets, taking the longer route to your car, hoping it doesn't ask you for some change. You wish it could go somewhere else, anywhere but your neighborhood. It gets too hungry. It turns to sex work because it's the only option it has. It starts using illicit substances to numb the pain of this sex work. However, you don't march for this life. This life is a burden on society. This life is unchristian, unworthy of your tax dollars. The life should get its act together, overcome all odds, and become a self-made, just like your granddaddy. However, when this life has a new life inside it, again, you'll march. Courtney Hood, January 26, 2017. Good morning, Lady O. How are you today?
I need a body massage.
Lady O, are you there? Lady O? I think Lady O's having a body here. Good morning, Ari. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing very well. Thank you so much. I am a friendly, so if you'd like for me to step down so that you can make space for opposition, I understand.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate your platform and everybody who's in here trying to educate themselves and stand for people's right to make their own choices, which I believe is what our country is all about. I just wanted to state, especially this has to do with the two guests, Jessica and the man who came up claiming that he couldn't vote and was talking about voting for God, et cetera, because that also triggered me. I just wanted to say that I think there are approximately 350 million U.S. citizens, and of that 360 million, I think 60 plus % are Christian affiliated. 25% are not affiliated with religion at all, and 6% are of different religious denominations than Christians, such as Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, Hindu. And I think that pushing this narrative that we live in a, quote, Christian country is part of one of the biggest contributors to the divisiveness in general, because like Jessica said, if the theory, the social theory behind Christianity is to love your neighbor and love God, you have to be able to love whoever your neighbor is, and you have to be willing to participate in that. So all of this policy that's Christian-based, Bible-based, political representation that quotes the Bible for the purpose of their policy, I think is just really disrespectful to everybody who doesn't identify the vast number of citizens within the United States who don't identify with the Christian Bible. And that's all I wanted to say. Just thank you for your space. And yeah.
Thank you, Ari. I appreciate you saying that. We've had this conversation
Thank you so much.
many times with many, many people, and I really appreciate your perspective. Thank you for being here, friend. Appreciate
Thank you. Have a great day.
You got it. Me too. Sure, real quick. I think people just asked. So real quick, Nikki, let folks know where they
Really
can find
quick,
that.
I'm just, this is a lot today. Okay, the poem that he just read, we cannot pin it in the comments because when people are in the box, TikTok doesn't let you. We do have the link in our Discord to the actual story. You can join the Discord by going to his link tree. In the link tree is a link for the Discord. You go in, answer the questions, post a picture of your TikTok page. One of the mods will verify you, and once you're verified, you can get through and you'll see all of the links. It's in there under the live sources channel. Anything that we use in the live, that's a source we put in there. So if anybody needs to do that, you can do that. If you cannot get through the link because sometimes it breaks, please just tag a mod in the bottom, and there we go, the link tree is down. Okay, please tag a mod in the bottom. All the mods that are in here that we have our little thing next to our name, except for Chelsea, she's a mod in name only. And we will.
The link tree's down or the Discord's down?
Somebody just said, hold on. Lulu just said Linktree Discord is down.
The link into the Discord in the link tree is down. Okay.
Right.
Happens with
Okay, so whoever needs it, tag a mod down in the bottom, and we will try to get everybody a link. But we do have it in there. The way that you tag a mod is you just touch on one of our names and say hi or whatever. Just say Discord link. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye.
I'm a Mino, mod in name only.
Yes. You're a Mino. That's right.
I need to put that next to my name.
Hashtag Mino. 22 Rosie does not look like you're connecting today, friend. You're more than welcome to request again. Uncle Sam requested. Good morning, Uncle Sam.
This is gonna happen. Sorry, I have to leave for work, but I can stay for a little bit.
Okay.
What do you want to talk about?
What's on your mind?
Well, I was curious. So I like to think that I would be. I don't consider myself MAGA. I'm curious. Do you guys think that anybody that's going to vote for Trump is considered MAGA, or do you think there's a difference?
At this point, I think just because of what we've seen, such just anger from people that consider themselves Republicans pushing away from MAGA. I think it's more people who are loyalists to Trump are considered MAGA, but there's a lot of Republicans who still believe that Republican policies, whatever they might be, are better for the country. I think there are Republicans that are voting for Trump that are non-MAGA.
Okay, that's good, because there are a lot of people I feel like on the left that don't see that the same way that you do.
But the problem is though, if you vote for Trump, then you're accepting everything that MAGA stands for. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's the less. I mean, I know it's cliche to say it, but it's the lesser of two evils in some Republicans' minds, I guess.
But is it? Is it the lesser of two evils?
I think to somebody that has more Republican values than, say, Democratic values, yes.
What is a Republican
what's
value?
a Republican value? Exactly.
I mean, I wouldn't say that there's one. I mean, you could talk about the policies of a Republican. And
What is that?
Okay, well, that's not what I came up here for. I'm not trying to pivot. I was curious. The guest that was up here, I believe she said that she was a teacher, but then she got to Texas and she couldn't teach because she had to take a test, right?
No, so like with Texas teachers and curriculum, you're certified in the state of Texas to teach all the curriculum that they should be able to want you to teach, right? But then there are some that make you do other things that you shouldn't have to teach based on the curriculum that's laid out by the board. That's what she's talking
certified
about.
state to state. Your license doesn't carry with you state to state. Each have family members that have moved. They have to get recertified based on the state standards. So it's nothing new.
Like the state.
Yeah, but then she said she chose not. I might have came in the middle of that one, but I thought she said that she decided to not pay the money. She was talking about the money aspect of it, correct?
Well, you have to keep paying every time they want to do a new curriculum, right?
Yeah,
but they don't pay the teachers for that. They make the teachers pay for that.
Okay, but would you say that it's true that a lawyer or a nurse or anything like that?
We're going to go back to the conversation, friend. So two things. First of all, you didn't really answer the question. So can you tell us what Republican policies are?
That's a loaded question. I mean, a Republican in Washington is going to have a different policy than a Republican in Texas.
People who believe in traditional, well, we're talking about the federal election for Trump. So I'm asking the question because it's important, because your handle is liberal suckers. So I'm curious what would be a traditional Republican conservative policy that people would consider better, the lesser of two evils, as you say.
I mean, I hate to talk about it because I would say AB.
So again, the government. So Republicans used to be about small government, and you're saying that Republicans now want the ultimate contradiction to that. That would be a Republican policy?
I'm saying AB.
Yeah, exactly. Republicans have always stood for small government. Get out of my business, less intervention. And now you're saying you support government being involved literally in medical decisions.
Do you know what one of the biggest problems that the Republican Party had with the Affordable Care Act? It was that they believed that the Affordable Care Act put the government between a patient and its doctor. That was their biggest complaint. They did media coverage every freaking moment of every day for it.
That's right.
But all of a sudden, that's not a standard for the Republican Party anymore. Now
the
they're
Affordable
okay with
Care
it.
Act is a failure.
No,
Okay,
it's not.
that's not against my point. My point was literally that they complained about how that would put the government in between a patient's doctor, but now all of a sudden that doesn't apply.
Can you answer the question?
Okay.
again,
I'm curious. At what point are you saying that applies? Are you going off of, if you're talking about presidential candidates, then if you want to say Trump has said multiple times that he doesn't support a federal abortion ban, AB ban.
Right, sure.
Okay, but he wants to punish women.
Wants to punish women.
He thinks that they should receive punishment.
In what way? How does he want to punish women?
So
For
he
having an
agreed
abortion?
with what Missouri was doing. And what is Missouri doing? Pushing for the
No,
death
you know, I thought
penalty.
we're talking about Trump.
I am talking about Trump.
How about we just let his
You
own
said,
words? How about
you
we
said,
just
what
let his own?
is Trump?
How
This
about
is
we just let his
crazy.
own words tell us that?
Yep.
I said, when has Trump ever said that he would support a national abortion ban? He never has.
How about we just let Trump tell us in his own words?
Okay.
Hold on.
For the woman.
Yeah. Hold on.
For abortion, yes or no, as a principle?
There has to be some.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion, yes or no, as a principle?
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman.
Yeah.
So, should we just assume that's just taken out of context?
So we should be punished for making.
When was that
decisions about our
talking?
own
When was he
bodies?
talking about an abortion ban, federal
Why
abortion
does
ban?
that matter?
Well,
Why does that matter?
because you literally asked a question. I told you, when has Trump ever talked about a federal abortion ban? And then you play a video or a sound clip of something that doesn't talk about a federal abortion ban.
No,
When
I
was
said
that clip?
no.
When was that
we were
dated?
talking. No,
When was
we
that
were
dated?
talking. No. We were talking about the fact that Donald Trump wants to punish women, and you said he never said that. So we're talking literally. He out of his own mouth, he said women should be punished for having an
You
abortion.
just said it this year. This is a clip from this year.
Last year, actually.
Well, last year,
still.
this election cycle.
So,
his
But yet
campaign.
he's never called for a federal abortion ban. That's what I'm
absolutely
saying.
not true. He's pivoted so many times. When actually asked the question during the debate, what did he say?
So it's okay for Donald Trump not to pivot, but it's okay for Kamala.
What did he say? What did he say?
About the AB in the debate? Is that what you're saying?
What did he say?
I'm not 100. I know he said something about making IVF insurance cover IVF, and that's really all I honestly know about the actual
Right.
debate.
So he didn't answer the question.
He avoided
so
it.
if he was adamant about not signing a national abortion ban, why wouldn't he just say, I won't sign a national abortion ban?
He says he's not for
Okay,
a
so he's
federal
on the
abortion
debate
ban.
stage. He's being asked, and he says.
So because he doesn't say it on the
nothing.
debate stage, but he says it somewhere else, that's not good enough. So we're only taking the debate.
But why are
at
we not
face value.
consistent? Just be consistent. If you don't
Why
want to
can't we
do
be
it,
consistent? So you
Is
want
it, okay. In all
well,
fairness,
hold
is
on,
any
hold on,
political
hold on,
candidate
hold on a
completely
second. Hold on a second. You want to say that he won't do it? When I'm saying, well, if that's the case, he was in a national audience, a televised debate, millions of people watching. He could have said right there, I don't support a national abortion ban. We know J.D. Vance does. We absolutely know he does. Absolutely does. He's talked about it numerous times. So do we want? So which answer again? So you can make the argument that he won't do it. I can make the argument that he will. So how do we know? Why don't we just look at the people around him? Why don't we look at Project 2025? Why don't we look at Agenda 47? Why don't we look at the rhetoric coming from the right? Why don't we look at people like Mike Johnson, who are in government, who absolutely, absolutely, if given the power, would pass a national abortion ban, and you know full well that Trump would sign it.
You're talking about something that hasn't happened. So isn't that what the election is about, right?
Yeah, that's why we're not going to let the fascists win.
Right. It's about what they say, and obviously not everything that a candidate says is going to go into law or happen. Correct?
Oh, well, of course, right? So you hold the same standard for Kamala Harris then too, right?
Well, I would agree. So so on that note, how has every Democratic president since before Bill Clinton or maybe even before promised to codify Roe v. Wade, but yet none of them have been able to do it?
Because it was settled law.
So what would be the difference now to one of her voters?
Excuse me, it was settled law. Even the people who made the decision to overturn the rights for women to their body on the Supreme Court in their testimony all said the same thing. Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, Amy Boney Carrot, all of them said the same thing, that it was settled law. So they lied too?
Okay, I'm asking how will Kamala, if she becomes president, how will she codify it?
Congress.
What if she doesn't have Congress?
Then you can't.
Okay, so that's something that she's promising that you don't know if she will be able to deliver on.
What has she said?
She's saying that she'll protect women's rights to the access to abortion. And she will make it basically the law of the land.
By giving me a Democratic Congress.
Yeah, but she could also create an executive order.
No, she can't. It's law, friend.
No, you can't make an executive order.
Do that.
That's law.
You can't do that. You can't do that. That's not how it works.
They've had Congress numerous times and they've never done anything about it.
Again,
they could have made an amendment. They could have made an amendment.
How does the Senate work? How does the Senate work here? How many votes do you need in the Senate to pass a law?
51.
60.
Well, it depends on what the legislation is.
So like if we were to codify Roe v. Wade, you would need 60 in the Senate, correct?
Yeah.
When have we ever had 60 in the Senate? Always.
Okay, I'm just saying. But she's promising to do it. That's all I'm saying. She's promising her voters that's what she'll do.
Context.
So,
did she or did she not say with a Democratic Congress?
She did.
Okay, maybe she did.
Okay, so then therefore she didn't lie, right? Because she said with a Democratic Congress.
Okay, so the same thing would be said about Trump. He would only be able to do certain things with a Republican Congress.
But Trump said he had a health care plan, and he didn't say it was Congress, and he could have done it, actually.
Here's the difference, Uncle Sam. The President of the United States has no control over legislation regarding a tax policy or changing laws. But you know what they do have control over? The executive branch, which no, they not from no, they do not. Again, what
They could have
specifically
made. Hang on. How can you say?
I'm talking. They control the executive branch, which includes the Department of Justice, meaning that they control law enforcement. So when Donald Trump says he wants to use the U.S. military and he wants to use the National Guard to not only exercise this mass deportation game, but also use it to go after the enemy from within, that's something that he can do, that he doesn't need Congress for. Did you know that?
Yes.
Okay, so then we should take his word for that, right? Because there's no roadblock. He can just do it.
So you talk about context and all the context. Nobody has actually been able to. Okay, so what's the enemy within? Nobody's been able to answer that. Trump hasn't even answered that. Vance hasn't even been able to answer that.
Radical
Vance was
left,
just
his own words, bro.
He answered it. He answered it.
Yeah, if they're criminals, they're criminals. Who cares if they're a political opponent?
It's not about
That's
being
the
a
fight
criminal.
against Trump. That's the fight against Trump, correct?
Listen to what he said.
What are you expecting? Joe Biden said he doesn't think it's going to be a peaceful election day.
Well, he doesn't have any idea what's happening in all fairness. He spends most of his day sleeping. I think the bigger problem is the enemy from within, not even the people that have come in and destroying our country. By the way, totally destroying our country. The towns, the villages, they're being inundated. But I don't think they're the problem in terms of election day. I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're the big, and it should be.
Kind of like he said what we said, huh?
So I'm on the left. Am I radical?
That have committed.
Stop trying to use the Dakota ring.
He didn't say you.
Well, that's how. But how do you know?
So if there's somebody out there,
who determines the radical left? Who makes
Exactly.
that determination?
Exactly. Who determines it?
That would be arbitrary, I would say.
You're right. Exactly. And since he controls the Department of Justice, the National Guard, and all those other things to federalize, then all of a sudden, you know what? I think this guy Facts is radical left. We're going to use the military to go round him up. He's the enemy from within. Do you see?
So I mean, are you talking? Well, what if I forget the guy's name? California guy. Is it Swalwell?
Swalwell. Yes. Would
So
you like to talk
Swalwell.
about him? Sure.
Or whatever. Supposedly, I don't know much about it, but he's the one that supposedly had the relationship with the potential Chinese spy.
He
So because the FBI and the ethics committee cleared that, no, it didn't.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
We're not
that
going to pivot,
case.
friend.
I just
We're not
would
going to
hate
pivot.
that you would use a talking
You're
point
not going to
against
pivot.
my friend.
You're not going
So,
to pivot.
Go ahead.
Okay? You're not going to pivot. So once again,
How's that pivoting? I'm
because
saying that could be an enemy from within if that was true. That's all I'm trying to say.
No,
I'm not saying it's true.
Okay, but the claim that you made were people that were committing crimes. I heard you say it before I played the audio. So he's talking about, again, like you just said, it's arbitrary. So who gets to determine who's the radical left?
It would be anybody that's done anything that is against the law.
That's not what he said now, is it?
Well, if you want to say tick for tack, then
that's not what he said, is it?
He said the enemy from within. So if somebody on the left has committed treason, or if there's somebody on the left here,
he didn't say that, did he?
He says people that are on the radical left. We have some very
so
bad
am I the radical left?
I would say not.
Okay, but again, who makes that determination?
The Department of Justice. If somebody is a spy, or if somebody
it didn't say spy now, did it?
Law,
did it say spy?
No, it didn't. It says he gets to
hang on a second.
determine.
So hang
Did he
on.
say
You
spy?
consider yourself the radical left, so that means he's talking about you. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying to you, friend, it's arbitrary. You said it your own words.
There would have to be something factual
No,
in order
you
for
don't.
him to do that.
Trump could be like, he is in charge of the Department of Justice. He would be in charge of the military. He would literally be like, hey, I believe that these people, this person, this person, this person are radical left, and we are going to round them out. They cannot be like, hey, I don't know if that really meets the criteria. No, they're going to have to do it because the president of the United States said so.
Can you please try to accept his words once in a while instead of what you think he meant?
I don't understand. You guys think that that's really going to happen? Like, do you really think that would happen?
Do you understand?
Really think
okay,
that he
let
would
me
do
explain.
that? Do you
Let me
really think
explain.
that?
Let me explain this to you. Okay. When you have the Supreme Court, that it's a conservative Supreme Court, if he wins the election, Justice Alito and Thomas will resign within weeks. And he'll appoint 2 younger justices that are even more radical. He's got the legislative body. You have to game this out, because this is the reality of what we're talking about. You've got the legislative body, Mike Johnson, who's a Christian nationalist who doesn't believe women should have the right to vote, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You've got rhetoric all up and down the aisle from the House to the Senate and Republican legislatures across the country who are passing legislation to try to make it impossible for citizens in our country to just live freely. And you get the president of the United States, who has the power of the criminal wing of our Justice Department, with the ability to hand out orders to go round up the radical left. You've got to stop thinking that this can't happen and start accepting the words and stop using the fucking decoder ring. He said the radical left. Who is the radical left? He didn't say criminals. He didn't say we're going to go after people who are committing crimes. He said the radical left.
You're right. He's going to take all the radical left and put them in internment camps, right? That's what he's going to do. Is that what you think? Is that what you truly think he's going to do? Because here's a question. He was already president for 4 years. Why didn't he do it the first 4 years he was president?
Because there were fail safes in place. There were people who were adults in the room. That's why he wants to eliminate public civil servants. That's what Project 2025 is all.
But you just said that he would have the direct order over the DOJ. He had the direct order over the DOJ in the first 4 years.
Exactly. But there were people in the DOJ that would have said, sir, this is not something you can do. You're talking about rounding up American citizens. People that
what would make you think that wouldn't happen this time?
I will answer your question if you let me finish. Because, again, part of Project 2025 is eliminating tens of thousands of civil servants, people in the government who were the guardrails the first time. With them gone, being Trump loyalists, that's what happens. He himself has said he wants generals that were like Adolf Schmittler's.
He himself has also said that he's not aligned with Project 2025. So if you're going to take his words, you only take his words for...
No, cool.
I'm just curious, what's bad about Project 2025? The Heritage Foundation or the actual plan of Project 2025?
You still think that Donald Trump doesn't support the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025?
No, I'm asking you. What's worse, the Heritage Foundation or Project 2025? Which one's bad?
Well, the
Heritage
Foundation
or the project?
Heritage Foundation authored Project 2025.
Oh, so Heritage Foundation is bad when it comes to something like that, but when it came to the ACA, that's good, right?
So nice pivot. It's a good
Heritage
try.
Foundation was 100% behind the ACA.
No, they weren't. That's
correct?
Another bullshit. No, that's another lie that's been told. So
bullshit.
Here you go.
You can look it up, fact check it. Obama actually is quoted
why are you yelling? So
that
you made the
premise of ACA
Hey, Mr. Feelings, can you just calm down for a second?
So I know when you're backed into a corner, this is what you guys do. You're like a caged animal. The claim that you made that Donald Trump is disassociated with Project 2025. So you're saying he doesn't support it?
That's correct.
Okay. So when I play you the audio that proves that he actually is supporting it, would you accept that as taking the L?
Not necessarily, no. Because he said it multiple times that he doesn't. So you're gonna pull some bullshit clip of one time where he says it, and then you're gonna say that it doesn't matter.
So Obama has been talking about the Heritage Foundation and how it's bad. So now
is going
use the
to
same
hell.
logic, right?
The critical job of institutions such as Heritage is to lay the groundwork, and Heritage does such an incredible job at that. This is a great group, and they're going to lay the groundwork and detail plans for exactly what our movement will do and what your movement will do when the American people give us a colossal mandate to save America. And that's coming. That's coming.
So is that just hyperbole?
I never heard Project 2025 in any of that clip.
The Heritage Foundation, their plan, friend. What the fuck do you think that is?
Right. So their plan for the ACA is good. You're right.
They didn't even write the ACA.
They didn't write the ACA.
No,
I mean,
they
so
didn't
this
write
is a
the
nice.
ACA.
So ladies
They
and
had
gentlemen,
ideas.
Hold on a second. Hold on, everybody. I just want to remind everybody that people like this vote. People like this think that Project 2025 literally want to take away the rights of people. Think it's okay. People like this vote. 12 days. If you are apathetic at all, people like this will be voting.
They
So
adopted one single thing, and that was the individual concept. And
So can
that
you-
was it. They didn't
so
write
what-
100% of the Affordable Care Act. They literally adopted one little minuscule thing that said individual concept.
And it was your
That was
claim,
it.
and it was your claims, Uncle Sam, that Donald Trump disassociated. Well, that is literally saying I support heritage and their plan for the future. Give us a mandate. There's the roadmap.
Do we
So
want
how-
to talk about how JD Vance wrote the
forward.
introduction?
Yeah.
Yep.
So does that matter, or is that just hyperbole and rhetoric and taken out of context? I'm fucking with him anyway.
The
Give me
stretching,
a fucking break.
the pretzel to make justifications for somebody is crazy. The fact that you hold a political leader so high that you're willing to twist yourself every second to justify his words is crazy.
Tommy, how are you today? Tommy, are you there?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what's on your mind?
I think Roe versus Wade is unconstitutional.
Oh, can't wait to hear
So,
why.
Okay, so tell us why.
Anything not defined in the Constitution is states' rights.
Privacy in the Constitution?
Do what?
Is privacy in the Constitution?
Constitution.
The unlawful search and seizures in there.
Privacy. We're asking
So,
privacy.
what's your point?
Fred.
What's your point to privacy?
Because Roe v. Wade was established as precedent because of privacy, not because of abortion. Medical privacy specifically.
Yep.
Did you know that? If you didn't know that, just say I didn't know that.
How is it not a states' rights issue, though?
Okay, one more thing. Can you acknowledge the fact that it was not based on abortion, it was based on medical privacy, which is in the Constitution. Privacy is in the Constitution.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So it is not
Therefore,
unconstitutional.
therefore, the Dobbs decision reversed women's rights to privacy.
Yep. And it's not unconstitutional. So your whole argument is just voided.
So you're a states' rights guy? Tommy?
Or is it only with abortion?
I'm just curious.
No, it's with anything that's anything. I believe in very small federal government. It needs to be anything
Right, so
needs
very
to go to the
small
states.
federal government. So but yet taking away the rights of women is like the ultimate big government exercise, right?
Well, what about the rights of the race?
They don't have rights in our system. They don't have rights under the law until they're born. They don't. Not until they're born. Not in our system of government. They don't.
Even in the Constitution, the very thing you keep citing, they don't have any rights until they're born.
So again, let me ask you a question: Are you a big states' rights guy? So you would support a state making decisions for their citizens?
At the will of the voters.
Cool. So what if at the will of the voters? So what if the Alabama legislature, and because the overwhelming majority of people in Alabama tend to lean heavy right, what if they decided to legalize slavery? Would you be cool with that?
That wouldn't happen.
Oh, it wouldn't happen? You just said the will of the voters.
And there's
What if the voters
a
said so?
constitutional amendment to ban slavery. So
Oh, yeah, you're right. There's also constitutional amendments to protect privacy too.
We didn't give a shit about that.
Yeah. Weird, right? It's weird when you get your argument thrown back in your bigoted face, isn't it? Yeah, it must be tough.
I love the unconstitutional argument.
Okay, question mark changed their mind. They did not want to have that conversation. I'll bring up T. Good morning, T. How are you today?
I'm doing just great. How are you all doing?
Doing okay. Thanks for asking.
Well, you've got your hands full here with people having opinions without knowing the history of what they're talking about.
Pretty much every day.
Yeah. You got that right. People just are freaking out right now, and I totally get it. I made a video this morning about everyone, do what you got to do for self-care right now. People are stressed about what's going to happen, and there's nothing really we can do from this point on. So it's hard to listen to the MAGA crowd talk about things that absolutely make no sense.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think what we're seeing, you'll notice that there's numerous talking points. We've already addressed the DOD 5240 directive, which they're now using as a talking point, claiming that Biden and Harris want to use lethal force against American citizens, which has been disproven and debunked. So it just goes on and on and on. Now it's the Heritage Foundation and the ACA. So this is what happens when you don't have anything to stand on other than hateful rhetoric. When you align with somebody who is bragged about grabbing women by the vagina, who fantasizes or who says he has sex in common with his daughter, who's an adjudicated sexual predator, who's a 34-time convicted felon, who cozies up to dictators, when that's the person you support, what else do you have but then to try to throw chum in the water and distract people from what's actually happening?
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. That's exactly it. And how do you get people to understand how government works at this point? Because they don't. There's been a systematic 50 years of dumbing down of people through public schools, through these standardized tests, and that the teachers have to teach to. So, civics hasn't exactly been a priority, and I'm sure that was part of the plan. But I don't think people understand, because they don't know their history, what is at stake here.
I think that people know their history, but I don't think they give a shit. I think the sad part about this, and I say this very clearly, is that people on the right at this point are either willfully and intentionally misinformed, or they don't care. And I'm starting to think it's more that they don't care. The reality of this is that there's no way anybody can not know the things that Donald Trump has said. Instead, what the right does is say it's just misinformation. It's no big deal. It's locker room talk. I don't care that he's at a campaign rally talking about Arnold Palmer's dick, but Kamala Harris has a hard time saying things. So it's this willful ignorance, right?
Yeah, I agree with you about the willful ignorance. I also do think there are people out there that just are lazy. And I know that's a horrible thing to say, but I mean, I can't believe the number of people that want me to do their research for them and then make a video to inform them of what would take them 2 minutes to Google.
Yeah, they don't seem to really care. And that's the worst part about it. So for those of us that are out here who are fighting for the rights of other people and trying to just say, listen, can't everybody just have fucking basic human rights and be left the hell alone? That used to be the party of the right. That used to be, we don't want the government in our business.
Right.
Libertarian model. We don't want people bugging us, telling us what to do as the government. And yet every single chance they get, they support the government taking away the rights of people and marginalized groups, as long as they don't look like me.
Oh, you are absolutely correct. I mean, I believe the basis of this, going way back, I mean, we've been dealing with this since pre-Civil War. But and it sounds like an oversimplification. I am a retired psychologist, and I will tell you in my observation that it is easier for weak-minded people to believe a lie than it is to wrap their heads around a truth that may be a little bit difficult.
So correct. So well said. Thank you for saying that, T. I appreciate you very, very much. And I know that you and Tom are friends, and Tom and I had a good conversation yesterday about Sunflower Project. The link is in the link tree in my bio.
Excellent.
We're going to be doing more. So thank you for what you do. I appreciate you, T. Thanks for being here.
No, thank you very much. You all have a great day.
Do the same. See you later. Blackwell, how are you today?
I am great. Thank you so much for letting me up. I've been holding on. I've got something I want to tell you guys. I read a book about a guy named, I wrote it down, so I went Brinkley, John R. Brinkley. He was a demagogue in the 1920s. He was a pioneer in radio. And with Trump's ascent, I think of this book that I read years ago. What Brinkley did, I got to prepare you guys for this. He came up with this crazy idea of transplanting goat testicles into people to cure everything from mental illness to alcoholism. And this went on until the AMA said stop. It's part of why the AMA was founded. So I was listening to you guys the other day, and there was a Trump supporter going on about regulation is bad. But really and truly, regulation stops things like this.
Absolutely.
This Brinkley guy, The cost of his surgery was $750. That's about $11,000 in today's money. And he performed thousands of these surgeries on desperate people because he was charismatic. Trump is charismatic. It's the same kind of thing. And regulations are important. And thank you for letting me come on. I wanted to share with you this story.
I appreciate that very much, and I think there's we see it every single day that history has an amazing way of repeating itself if we're not careful. But thank you, Blackwell. I appreciate you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thanks. New subscription goal, friends. Somebody just reminded me. Thank you all very much for doing that. We appreciate you being here. Hillary Connector, how are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
Well, this week I have been on the face of the book, and unfortunately, there are some women who I know who have put on their Facebook, their FF book pages, whether you're voting red or blue, and I have to say the majority of them have put red hearts, and it's really disheartening. And they happen to be white women. And I had said something in the comments that I was truly disgusted to see this. And they asked me why. And I told them that they are literally, they're voting against their own rights. And I said, I'm voting for I'm not voting for just my rights. I'm voting for those who don't look like me. And a woman said, well, I'm voting for those who look like me and everyone else. And she said, but I'm not racist. And I don't know how you do it, Steve. Like every single day you're on here and you're talking to these people and I don't understand, and you give them so many facts. And I did the same thing. I actually quoted you several times of what I've learned from you. And it's just so frustrating. And I don't understand how they don't get it. They don't get it.
It's cult behavior. Hillary,
Not that they don't get it, they just don't care enough to get it.
Yep. It's cult behavior, because think of it this way, right? If you believe one of the things, like if you're convicted that, let's use January 6th. Like if January 6th, didn't happen, it was an inside job, and all of a sudden they finally realize that the evidence is overwhelming and they have to believe it, then their entire world crumbles.
Yes.
Because then it's like, oh shit, maybe I've been lied to about something else. And then they find out that that's another lie. And then that's another lie. And that's how you become indoctrinated, and then you have to kind of separate, That's the weird part. So people want to hold on. You can hear it in the conversations, like the exasperation that people get. So I've been, as a social exercise, I watch these conversations. You start to see their emotions go up and their anger goes up, and they start talking louder and louder. Caged animal, right? They get backed into a corner, and the only defense they have is to yell and scream and insult me and call me whatever else because of my fingernails. It's like, whatever. You mean, we're exposing you every day. Every day.
Yes. It's just frustrating to me because this is quite literally the election to save our lives. Not just as women, but just as American people and our democracy. And they're okay with fascism, which I don't even think they understand what that means.
No, they don't. And our guest, Boston Smalls, who joined us early, I mean, there are certainly things fascistic about the American left, but it's the collective, right? You can only you're fascist if you check every box. In the 14 tenets of fascism clearly outlined, that is MAGA. From ultranationalism to corporate cronyism to superiority of the supremacy of the military, to going after the intellectuals and the arts, the woke left. I mean, it's literally, they check every single box.
Exactly. I think what scares me the most is that I'm not scared that she's not going to win, because I really do think she is. However, what scares me is those people and what they're going to do when she does.
Yeah, you're right. Hillary, thanks for being here. We appreciate you very much.
Thank you so much. Great to see you guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
Bye.
Flower for thoughts. You in all caps. I know you need the attention. You said, I don't know what fascism means. I just sent you an invitation, friend. Why don't you come on up and join me so we can talk about it? I'd be curious as to what you think fascism is. But, you probably won't.
I don't know if you were wanting to, if you had kind of a...
Philotherium. Philotherium.
Yeah.
I don't think you requested. I think you requested on accident. Is it on accident or by accident? I've always said by accident.
I think it's by accident.
Yeah, I know some people say on accident. Carlotta, how are you
Your
today?
whole life right now.
Carlotta,
Yes,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
I came in at the end of a sentence which reminded me of I'm a friendly, but I got a text message from a friend of mine who is a Trump supporter who I hadn't heard from in months because A, he either died, or B, he's so entrenched in everything that he can't talk to anybody that he knows is an enemy. And I would be that. So he got a hold of me yesterday, and it was just a text right out of the blue about there's going to be no more transgenders kicking people out of the military. There's going to be no more DEI hires. I mean, it was just this rant. Yeah. Gay people are going to be shoved back in the closet where they fucking belong, blah, blah, blah. And I'm gay, right? So I was like, okay, bro, thanks. But it was just this rant. And at the end, he said, there's a civil war coming that you guys just don't know about. And I thought, wow, he's really, really deep in it. And so there must be, the deep cultists are really, coming up with something similar to probably what the Proud Boys did for January 6th. Because I remember my friends tell me about that.
It's their Call of Duty wet dream. Let's be real. That's
what
it is. Yep.
Yeah, but I was like, wow, dude, they are just off the rails right now. The people deep in there, the 25 to 30% that are just cultist. But yeah, I thought, wow, I think there's going to be smatterings of issues. That's why I stepped in, because I thought I heard something about somebody saying I'm worried about when she wins.
Yeah, I get that.
I think there's going to be smatterings, but I think they're tired. I think that the 10% above the crazy that are still voting for Trump because of whatever economic thing they think is going to happen or whatever, I feel like they're tired. I don't think they're going to go to jail for him again. I don't know.
I think some will, but I think yeah. Unlike 2020, when literally he lied to them and grifted them and continues to grift them, I think many have seen through it. When you're starting to see, Republicans for Harris, and you're starting to see, MAGA hats being thrown into dumpsters and all this kind of shit. I think the polling, all these Republican leaning polls are kind of messing with the whole algorithm regarding the data. I think she's going to win, and I think it's going to be pretty overwhelming, quite frankly.
I personally think, and I've felt this way for a long time. I think the ground in Florida is blue. And I think that's going to bleed through on election night.
I'm not quite ready to go there yet. I mean, that's my sort of long shot prediction, just because I just don't trust Ron DeSantis in the whole 9 yards. But
yeah, fair enough.
I guess we'll see. But thank you for being here, Carlotta.
Hey, you have a wonderful day.
You too. Thanks. See you later.
Bye.
So I want to address this now because I've seen a lot of people spamming the chat again because of just how gullible MAGA is because you don't read. So first of all, you're saying that the DoD manual 5240 is brand new. So it was effective August 8th, 2016. Okay. So the purpose of this document, the title of it is Procedures Governing the Conduct of DoD Intelligence Activities. The purpose, in accordance with the authority in DoD Directive 5240.01 and Executive Order 12333, this issuance establishes procedure to enable DoD to conduct authorized intelligence activities in a manner that protects the constitutional and legal rights and privacies and civil liberties of U.S. persons. DoD authorized intelligence activities and foreign intelligence and counterintelligence activities unless otherwise specified in this issuance. Authorizes the defense intelligence components to collect, retain, and disseminate information concerning U.S. persons in compliance with applicable laws, executive orders, and policies and regulations. Now, I literally did a video on this yesterday. If you go to page 13, is this the right one?
Can you put it in like the Discord or
I will. I'm going to send the link. Actually, good call.
Thank you.
Sure. Hold on. I'll do this right now. It's so funny that I literally did a video on this yesterday. There's one particular section here. Where is it? Right here. No, this is. Hold on a second. DoD intelligence and intelligence-related activities and defense intelligence component assistance to law enforcement and agencies and other civil liberties. I read the wrong one. This implements executive orders 1233 and 13388 and Title 50, establishes policy and provides directions for DoD intelligence and intelligence-related activities, assigns responsibilities and provides guidelines for defense intelligence agencies, component intelligence assistance to law enforcement, and other civil authorities. This one is dated September 27, 2024, so this is a new one. So this is a revision of the last. Again, this is a 22-page document. If you go to page 13, this is what the rights got all up in their shit. Levels of authority. Subject to paragraph 3, defense intelligence components may provide personnel to assist a federal department or agency, including a federal law enforcement agency or a state or local law enforcement agency, when lives are in danger, in response to a request for such assistance, in accordance with the following approval authorities. Secretary of Defense approval. 1. The SecDef may approve any type of requested permissible assistance described in paragraphs 3.2. 2. The decision to approve requests for these types of permissible assistance described in paragraph 3.2 to law enforcement agencies and other civil authorities are reserved to the Secretary of Defense. 2A. Provision of personnel to support response efforts for civil disturbances, which may also require presidential authorization. DoD response to chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and high-yield boom incidences. So this entire thing is clear that as long as it doesn't violate people's civil liberties, if there is unrest to the level of disaster, then they can implement this. It is such a fucking stretch to say that this is, oh my gosh, this is the DoD going after American citizens. Because MAGA, you don't read. Do better, please. Do better.
Well, they don't really care that the military would go after citizens because they're okay with Trump saying that he would love to do that.
Unbelievable. My gosh, it's not that difficult. It's really not that hard. Just to take a few minutes just to read it, instead of showing us that you're the gullible sheep that you are, and you'll believe everything that you're fucking told. If you could just read it, you'd know exactly what it was.
I gotta head out.
Thank you, friend. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
You got it. See you later.
Hey, bye.
Bye. Zero. Are you there? I guess not. Are you there? Are you there, Alice? Can you hear me? Are you there? Pretty. How are you today?
Good, good. I just have a question.
Okay.
Boy, the TDS is really running high in this place, isn't it?
Yeah. Why do you have it?
You have it.
What?
Who?
I'm not voting for the serial rapist. I'm not voting for a convicted felon. That'd be you.
Who sent a directive to the Pentagon?
Did you hear what I just read, friend?
Who did that?
Did you hear what I just read?
Who did it?
Did you hear what I just read,
I heard what
sir?
you just read. Who did it?
Then tell me what it is.
Tell me who did it.
Tell me what it is.
Who did it?
Tell me what it is, sir.
It allows the military to use lethal force against the American citizens.
So could you tell me where it is that I can find that? Because
All right,
that's not what it says. It's considering I just read it.
I told you my version of what it is. Tell me who did it now.
No, you told me what you think it is, but that's not what it is.
You're evading the question,
No, sir, because
just like
you told me
Kamala Harris.
You
You're
told me what
evading
you
the
think it
question.
is.
You
You told
all
me
are
what
a
you
bunch
you
of
told me what you
communists.
think it is, friend.
You
You told
all
me
are a
what you
bunch
think
of
it is.
communists.
You told you told me what you think it is, sir. That's
No,
not what it
that's
is.
what I know it to be.
No. You don't. Have you read it?
Yes.
How many
That's
pages
what-
is it?
First, you answer me this question.
How many pages is it?
First, answer me this question.
Hey, coward.
Who did
Traitor.
it, coward?
Hey, traitor. How many
Hey,
pages is it?
communist. Hey, communist.
Hey, traitor. How
Hey,
many pages is it?
fascist. Hey,
No,
communist.
you're the friend. Fascist
You're
is
the
on one
fascist.
side. Fascist
You're
is
the
on one
fascist.
side. Hey, friend. Fascist is on one side of the political ideology. Communist is on the other. So which one would you like to label me?
You are a fascist communist.
Okay, that's good to know. I'm a fascist communist. Fascist is far right, friends. Communist is far left. Thank you for playing. God, they're fucking stupid. Seriously. They're just stupid. I literally just read this to him, and the directive is from the Department of Defense. It's not from anybody else other than the DOD. Kathleen H. Hicks, Deputy Secretary of Defense. Bottom of the barrel. They are so broken. One Taylor a day. Man, oh man. I literally just read it to you as to what it is. It's in the case of massive civil disturbances like radiological, nuclear, chemical, whatever that might be. Holy shit. Literally just read it to him. Everybody, it's DOD Directive 5240.01. We're going to hear more and more about it, so just be prepared. Kat, how are you today?
Hi, I am good. Let me step out of the workshop really quick, if that's okay.
Cool. What kind of workshop? I love workshops.
I'm a jeweler.
Nice.
Almost out. Sorry, give me just one more second.
That's okay.
Big store.
Ooh.
Be right back. Okay, sorry about that.
Kat?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. What's
okay.
up?
I am a friendly, so if you would like me to step down.
No, it's fine. What's on your mind?
I just kind of wanted to talk about how, like, this election has personally affected me, I guess.
Sure.
It is a little bit hard to talk about because it's a little fresh, so bear with me. On Thursday, I broke up with my partner of 3 years over this shit. And I always knew that we disagreed politically. That was never new. But over these past 3 years, he has gone from just being a Republican to far-right extremism, and the shift was so subtle that it took him saying something so fucked up to snap me out of it and realize, holy fuck, this person that I've been with for 3 years is just not the same anymore. I live in Florida, and it started because I was bitching about Amendment 4 and how it was worded on the ballot. And there's like a line where it says, like, this will result in less live births and more abortions. And he agreed with the wording of less live births and stated that we need more legacy American births. And then I kind of doubled down on that and kept pushing, and he basically admitted, it got to the point where he was like, we need a child tax credit for white people, and it was fucking insane. And I, like, realized that I have to leave the person that I am so deeply in love with, because, like, I can't be a bystander to that. I can't make excuses for that without being an issue myself, and it's just been really hard to deal with. That is a long story short, because there was a lot, there's been a lot that's led to this regarding the things he said over the past year or so, but it's just.
Are you
old.
Are you safe, Kat?
I am, yes.
Okay. Sadly, this story is not, a one-off. We hear it a lot. I think the difference with a lot of people is that you made the break. Some people don't. We see this a lot. We have this conversation a lot with people who feel obligated because families have been divided over this, right? Mothers and sons, fathers and daughters, cousins, brothers and sisters. People have chosen they've drawn a line in their political ideology. They say, I'm all in for Trump, or I'm all in against fascism, and whatever that might be. And some people because it's usually the ones on the left, the empaths in us all. It's the ones on the left that want to reach out to kind of bring their family back together. I say why, right? I say why. People have chosen this this path. People have chosen this direction, and it's not on us to break bread with them. It's on them to say, I'm sorry that I've followed this path towards this cult-like behavior, or in your case, these horrible things that were said. So I'm sorry that you're in this position. I'm glad you're out. I'm glad you're safe.
Yeah,
But,
it's back to living with my parents. I will say I'm very lucky. I have a very strong support system of friends who I'm all aligned with. My mother's amazing. So I'm very lucky in that regard, and a lot of people that are in this position can't say the same thing. So I'm very, very thankful for that.
We just so you know, in our Discord, we have a channel that's called Are You Okay? It's kind of just our mental health check-in place for people to just share what's on their mind. We have my my co-host on Friday nights. Her name is Amy Dawn. She's a mental health specialist, and she provides sort of resources in there. And if things get really, really bad, there's an opportunity to talk. So if you're interested in joining our Discord, I think your account is private, so it may just be difficult for people to kind of, which I understand based on your circumstances. But if you're interested, that's something that's available to everybody. It is a channel that literally is in our Discord called Are You Okay?
I will look into that.
So the Discord link is in the link tree in my bio. Right now, the link is broken again, but one of our mods will, so any mod, can you guys just make a comment in the chat? So it'll either be Nikki or Gregory. Any one of our mods can give you the access to it. And basically, if you have do you have Discord installed on your device?
I do not. I've never used Discord, but I'm definitely open to it.
Okay, so Discord is just like a community kind of connection point. It's literally just we use Discord. It's a machine that's kind of running behind the scenes of our show. I'm gonna bring Jess up because she can help. Discord basically is this tool. It's like a collaborative space, and there's different segments. We have news and resources, and one particular section is known as Are You Okay? So it's an app. You can download it from the App Store. Jess can probably offer some more context here.
Yeah, so I came up, Kat. I'm very sorry about your situation, but I would absolutely love for you to have a support system with us. I'm pretty good with all this kind of stuff, so I just requested to follow you. If you want to just accept my request, I'll send you the Discord link. We can talk back and forth, and I could just literally walk you through how to download it, how to make a username, and all that great stuff, because we want to be able to support people like you who made the strong enough decision to walk away when you knew enough was enough for you, because it's not just a matter of voting, it's a matter of morals and values. And we know that, we know that because I've had similar situations. I've had to cut off my boyfriend's entire family because they're like super MAGA. It's disgusting. And it's not an easy situation, but we want to be able to support you. We have a great girls chat, and we have a lot of great women and men that would just love to support you. So if you just want to accept my request, no pressure, but we're here for you.
I really appreciate that. I will look into that and accept your request and all of that, because I have people to talk to, but I feel like a lot of the people don't understand like the gravity of it, and they're like, oh, he sucks, you dumped him. But it's like, this was somebody I've spent 3 years of my life with, that I was building a future with.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you found out now who he really was, rather than 5 years down the line, kids and marriage and buying a house together, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to protect your children and yourself as a woman. And this man obviously didn't support that. And he doesn't just suck. He doesn't just suck for you. He sucks for the entire country.
There's a twist on this, though. He has texted me since the breakup, and he's basically sent me paragraphs explaining how everything he believed was wrong. He sent me a picture of his ballot. He did vote for Kamala. But I have a really hard time believing that in less than a week, he's been able to completely unindoctrinate himself from the fucking cult that he got himself into. And I want nothing more than to be like, oh, you've changed, and run back. But I have if it wasn't for me taking that step and showing him I was serious in my beliefs and values, I don't think he ever would have even attempted to put that work in. I don't.
But he did. But he did. And I'm not saying it takes a long time to what's the word I'm looking for? Unravel yourself from the MAGA cult. I just told you my boyfriend's family, I separated from him, and Steve knows. I've told him this story. I've been with my boyfriend for 2 years, and for 90% of that time, he was a Trump supporter. He was gung ho supporting Trump. He was kind of like gross once we started talking about some of this stuff. And I told him, like, I'm done. I'm going to leave. And he knows I share the story. He knows that I've shared this story. So it's not like if he's watching, he's going to be mad at me. But he is coming with me to vote for Kamala Harris against his family, you know, and that didn't take very long. It took him a couple months. He still says some things that are like uncomfortable for me. And I'm like, no, that's not right. But he doesn't know any better. And then I educate him. We educate him. You know, so if he is trying to change, I'm not trying to sway your opinion one way or another, but you had a part to play in him changing his mind to see the truth. You know, like your decision is up to you, but people can change.
It's just hard because, like, before I firmly was like, this is over, I asked him, I'm like, do you genuinely not see what is wrong with the things you said? And he said, no, I don't see anything wrong with wanting to preserve my people. He could not see a single thing wrong with his mindset and the way he was speaking. So it's just in like 4 days to completely shift. It's like almost too good to be true.
Yeah, I don't know about a complete shift. I don't know about that yet, but I do think that maybe you installed something in his head that made him double think about how he was feeling. If he actually went out and voted for Kamala Harris, that's a big step.
Yeah,
in the right direction, at least.
And Kat, I think you trusted your gut, so I would say continue to trust it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Right, that is all I really had to say, and I've got to get back to work. But thank you for your time. I will look at the Discord. Thank you again.
Just so you know, you're going to get inundated by people in our community. You want to make sure that you can get access to stuff. So you're going to get a lot of requests to follow back. But that's what we do around here. So I appreciate you coming up and being fully transparent and vulnerable with us. Thank you so much, and good luck. And please come back and check with us, because as Jess knows and my team knows, now that you're kind of in our family, we're going to bug you.
Yeah, you're
done. Make sure that you're doing
I've been
okay.
watching your live for weeks, so
Appreciate
been
you very
watching
much.
for so long. Thank you so much. You guys have a good one.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Before I jump down, Steve, YouTube is on fire right now. So listen, I love that everybody comes here to TikTok, but if we could just get a small amount of people to just go over there and help us out, because it's just me and Tiffany over there, and it's being flooded with MAGA, and we can't really control all of it. So if you guys can help out on YouTube, that'd be awesome. Don't everybody leave here, please. Don't everybody leave. But if we could just get that going so we can kind of get some more support, and that's all. It's crazy over there right now.
Thank you, Jess. I appreciate you very much.
Bye,
Love you,
guys.
friend. See you later. The link to the YouTube is also in the link tree that's in my bio. It's the same. It's my handle, FactsStillMatter, over on YouTube. You'll find it. You'll find us. And again, the link to it is in the link tree in my bio. So to Jess's point, if anybody wants to head on over, Moz, I don't know if you can help out a little bit over there, but it's crazy. It's crazy. We are, I'll make this announcement now since I just saw the notification. We're going to be looking for more mods. So for those of you who don't know, and I'll say this now, for every live creator that you like on this app, anybody that you watch or that you feel like you get your news from, I won't speak for them, but I could not do what I do here every day without my team of mods. They are loyal, they are dedicated, they are kind, they are empathetic, they are understanding, they keep me on my toes, they keep relevant content, they make sure that we're still marching towards the moral compass that we've all set out, and they're amazing people. If you've ever thought about joining a mod team, we're going to be opening up our mod application because we need some more folks. So I'll throw that out there right now. We'll provide more context on that. We've got a channel for mod applications, but let us get the application posted and I'll let you all know. So just thank you to every mod out there. My team in particular, you guys are the bomb. Or if Oliver were here, you guys are Riz. I'm probably not even using that right, but whatever, who cares? Thank you all very much. Everyone, we'll go to noon today. Everybody keep tapping and sharing. Dave Walker, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty fantastic. How about yourself?
Doing fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
Well, I jumped in at the kind of the end of the last guest's conversation, and kind of touched home a little bit with dealing with like my family. And so half of my family, they don't vote at all, which I don't understand how. My one sister is 46, my other sister is 43, and I'm 41. And I've been voting ever since I was able to, and I feel very strongly that that is our civil duty to do, and they just don't have any interest in it. So that kind of bothers me a little bit. But then my parents, so my mom just blindly follows my dad's vision, which is cult mega. And I don't understand it because I feel like she's smarter than that, but she doesn't want to go against what he says. She doesn't allow him to speak about politics around a lot of people because, like, all my mom's sisters and brothers, they're all Democrats. And they all kind of just know you don't bring that up around my dad. But my dad, he just sees things on Facebook or TikTok and he automatically believes it. Like, he still thinks the election was stolen. He still thinks that people in Springfield are eating cats and dogs. And he just blindly follows everything. So I know they both voted. We're from Wisconsin. And they voted 2 days ago when early voting opened. And I know for a fact, I mean, that they both voted for Donald Trump. And it really disgusts me that they can do that in good consciousness, you know. And everybody knows how I stand. I am very for women's rights. I am very for facts and democracy and the truth. And I have such a hard time listening to this stuff from my father. And I try to tell him facts and I try to send him proof. And he will not listen. He will not look. He gets so upset that he'll either hang the phone up or he throws the phone because I don't live right next to them. So it's always, our conversations are normally over the phone. And so after they voted, this morning I thought I could have a conversation with them. And I brought up the whole Trump wishing that he had generals that were more like, yes. And he thinks that's total BS. That's not true. And then, so they always talk on speakerphone, and my mom's always next to them. They have a really good relationship. They're always together. They're both retired. They're great people, but you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to deal with this. So I'm telling my mom, like, how can you, because we have my mom has a granddaughter, which would be, you know, my niece, at 15 years old. I'm like, how could you in good faith vote for Donald Trump, knowing what his whole party is about, knowing what Project 2025 is about? And like, what if she got pregnant at 15 years old? Because she's in kind of a, you know, a 15-year-old serious relationship.
Sure.
What if she got pregnant? And thank God Wisconsin isn't one of them radical states.
Right. So part of this conversation, Day, you can remind, and this goes for everybody. So if you're a woman watching this right now and you do not want to vote for MAGA, you do not want to vote for Trump, you don't want to vote for Republicans, but you feel the pressure of your husband or your parents or whatever that might be, your vote is private. From my perspective, if you have to, walk in the voting booth, vote your conscience, and fucking lie. It's none of their damn business. It's your vote. It's your rights. They can't take it away from you. Nobody can go into the voting booth with you. We hear these stories of men trying to pressure their wives to go into the voting booth with them. It's against the law. You can't do that. So don't let them. So I don't know. Again, I would have the conversation to your mom and just say, listen, your vote's private. Your vote's private. Nobody has to know who you're voting for. That might give her the permission structure to say, I'm doing this.
Well, unfortunately, they both voted already. And I had them conversations
that's right.
about,
You said that.
About a month ago when it was just my mother home. My dad was on some kind of four-wheeler ride or something. And I'm telling her, like, you don't have to vote for Donald Trump.
No.
Like, you can't give me one good thing he's about. Well, I don't like Kamala, you know, and I'm like, it's Kamala. I don't know. That's another thing. I don't understand how they don't know how to pronounce her name.
They do. It's just a massage noir. They do.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with that, you know, because it's like, come on, it's really not that hard at all. And I told her, you don't have, just tell them you voted for Trump. but don't
Exactly.
do it.
Exactly.
Like, you're smarter than that, Mom.
Exactly.
And
These are the conversations, friend, that we have to have, Day, and I appreciate you being here, man. These are the conversations we have to. Again, a cautionary tale from everybody, because I guarantee you there are so many families around the country that are just like Day. So you got pressure from one side or the other. Your vote is private. I'm not advocating for lying, but let's be real. If that's what it takes for you to vote your conscience, what are you going to feel better about? Voting for Kamala Harris because she aligns with your values and your approach to women's rights and their body? What's more important? Not doing that because of the pressure, or telling a little white lie? Who'd you vote for? Yeah, Trump all the way. Woo! And then you can sleep at night because you know your conscience is safe. Thanks for being here, Day. I appreciate you very much, brother.
Thank you very much for bringing me up.
You got it. Have a good day.
You too.
It's the reality, right? We don't have to just, it's none of their fucking business. They don't give a shit what they say or what they think. It's on us. We're the ones that can control this. There's more of us than them. Don't let them think otherwise. There's more of us. KYU. Q, how are you?
Oh, hi. Sorry, I didn't notice I was up already. I just wanted to say something really quick. I'm actually not from America, but I want you guys to know that literally every single country, at least in Europe, is worried about this election. Like, this is one of the scariest elections that's ever been going on. Literally, I hear my parents, my entire family talk about it every single day. We're talking about who will win, and like, because people don't realize, but like, America impacts like the rest of the world. Like, if you vote for Trump, that tells the rest of the world leaders that, oh, it's okay to be this extreme. It's okay to think like this. And I don't know. Sorry, that's kind of all I wanted to say. I don't really have a lot to say, but
no, I mean, people have a lot of mixed opinions about the United States for sure. But I think for us to go around the world claiming that we are a country of the rule of law, we believe in freedoms and liberties, and yet we'll vote for someone who wants to take those things away, then I don't blame the rest of the world for being, yeah, whatever, see ya. You know, our allies, we already know Donald Trump's criminality and sharing documents related to the British Navy and other Five Eyes countries and the whole 9 yards. Why would anybody trust us if Trump gets reelected again? Why should they?
yeah. And wait, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
I'm sorry, I think I forgot what to say. I just want to come up and say something real quick.
No worries. I appreciate you, friend, for being here. Thanks a lot. You have a good day, okay?
Yeah, you too.
See you later. Seriously, I mean, listen, the majority of the world mocked Trump, laughed at him at the UNN, think that he was a bumbling fool. And even the people that he loves, like the Viktor Orbáns of the world, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, Rocket Man, they all think he's a joke as well. But they know that they could easily manipulate him. And MAGA, that's the guy you want, who is an absolute simp for the strong man, because he's not. He's about as weak as they come. And I just don't think you care. I really don't think you care. It's pretty sad. Anyway, that's your bed to lie in. Keep tapping and sharing, friends. We're almost at, let's see if we can hit 700K today. That'd be great. We'll go till noon. Pipe fitter, you're not able to connect. Pastor STM. Is the host another word salad guy? I don't think so. You've got enough followers, Mahana. Why don't you request and come on up? Mod chat, the mod app channel is open. Anybody's interested in becoming a moderator for our channel, you got to be in the Discord, because that's where the channel is. You'll see it in there. Please join our Discord. Again, you need to tag a mod if the link, we apologize. We don't know what the issue is. If you have Discord installed on your device and you go to the link tree that is in my bio and you click the Discord link, it will give you 3 dots up in the upper right-hand corner. Hit that, copy link, open it in a browser, and it will open automatically in Discord. If you'd like to be a moderator for our channel, we'd love to have you. Just a few questions. We'll ask you what your favorite baseball team is. If you say the New York Yankees, you will be absolutely not allowed to join. I'm kidding. That's for you, Nikki. What did I tell you yesterday, day before? I wished you good luck. As hard as it was, I still did it. Because I'm a giver. Damn it. Leah, how are you today?
Hello.
Hi, Leah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
So I wanted to throw something out there that maybe people haven't thought about, the abortion thing. I live in Arkansas. And so when Roe v. Wade was overturned, we had a trigger law. So all abortion, it's illegal in Arkansas. And so we did a citizens referendum to put it on the ballot. Just because they say they're leaving it up to the states, they're not leaving it up to the states. Our governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, found a way to make the signatures, the thousands of signatures that we collected, invalid. So not only it's illegal now, but we don't even get a chance to vote on it. These governors aren't just going to allow it on the ballot. So that's one thing I wanted to say. And the other thing I wanted to say is I've always been pro-life. And that's changed a whole lot in the last couple of years. I have a 16-year-old daughter, and I'm not going to tell her what to do with her body. And I definitely don't think a man needs to tell her what to do with her body. And I recently put her on Accutane. And I don't know if people know this, but it causes very severe birth defects. Like, it's incompatible with life birth defects. She has to go online and swear that she's going to be abstinent while she's on the medicine. She has to have she has to have a pregnancy test every month before the doctor will prescribe it. If my daughter gets pregnant in the state of Arkansas and she's taking that pill that thousands and thousands of teenage girls take, technically she couldn't get an abortion in the state of Arkansas. So I think there's a whole lot more to it than people just saying, I'm pro-life and I don't like abortion. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like it for you. You don't have to have one. But we are being, Arkansas is a very red state. And I know there's a lot of southern states that are like that are just, we're not being given a choice. It's not left up to the states. It's left up to the Republican governors in these states. And the will of the people is not happening. They're not letting it happen in these states.
Technically, it's the Republican legislatures, right? So they're the ones that are doing it. That's why people. This is a good reminder and a cautionary tale. That's why we have to vote down ballot as well. Make sure you're reviewing your candidates, know where they are, know where they stand. Because there are a lot of Republican legislatures in this country that have supermajorities, so they can even bypass the governor if the governor happens to say I oppose this law. Because they have a supermajority, it's veto proof, meaning that the governor can veto it and they can still make it a law. So that's why it's really important that you're engaged.
That's absolutely true. And I've gotten much, much more engaged since we've gotten our new governor. She also passed the LEARNS Act. So we have vouchers in the state of Arkansas now. And I have just the numbers that came out after the first year of the vouchers, all of the private schools that accepted the vouchers, they were all Christian schools or the really expensive elite private school in Little Rock. They accepted, that's where all the money went. And it's, I've seen it, where I live, we don't have a lot of private schools around here. But it's just made it such a have and have not situation. I couldn't put put my kids in.
You got muted, Leah.
So anyway, it's not the will of the people. The will of the people in the states are not happening.
It's the will of the people happen to be in power at the time of the trigger law is in effect. But thank you, Leah, for being here. I appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
You got it.
Bye.
All right, friends, I think we'll wrap. We're going to rate our friend RJ Okor. We all know RJ. Please tell him that we said hello. I want to thank everybody for being here today. Just another reminder. We are supporting a member of our community who could use some help paying for some massive vet bills. Links are my pay apps are in my bio. Every single dollar in, every single dollar out. We're fully transparent. We've got some really cool merch that's in our new merch store. Check it out while you're over there. We're also supporting the Sunflower Project, which helps the largest orphanage in Ukraine. Information of that is also in my link tree. And again, the mod app channel is open in our Discord. You have to be in our Discord to get it. If you'd like to be considered for a mod for our channel, we'd love to have you join our party. Thank you all very, very much. As a reminder, we don't go live on Friday mornings, capitalism, but we'll see you tomorrow night for Facts After Dark. If you guys wouldn't mind just popping over to the YouTube channel real quick and just liking it, subscribing to the channel, maybe making a comment. We want to try to build our traffic up over there. The link to the YouTube channel is also in my link tree. Thank you all for being here very, very much. Remember,